It's happening whether we're ready or not. So you better get ready.
Welcome yo to the veteran gamers. Juju, Jimmy, other fellas will
I'm
tell
not
you
ready.
about every single game that you play.
I'll
this
be ready
week.
eventually.
News, reviews, and an indie.
I woke up from a nap
Stu
just now.
story time and Jimmy's game break. Here comes Duke with the soundbite saviors.
Soundbite saviors.
What's that weird cat? It's the veteran gamers.
Story time.
It's the veteran gamers.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
Am I wrong?
You're not wrong, Walter. You're just an asshole.
Okay then.
Switch that console off before you have to press repeat, y'all.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
Hello and welcome to episode 704 of the Veteran Gamers Podcast.
Yeah, 704. What's up, people? I'm Duke.
I'm Stu.
And I'm the other guy.
That's right, the
Fred,
other
I
guy.
want to
The other
say. I think
guy.
it's Fred.
The other
Yeah,
guy.
Fred. Fred will go with
What's
Fred.
up, Fred?
Fred, you all right, Fred?
Yeah. Right, yeah.
There you go.
I can change my voice, by the way. To a,
Oh, no, not
I
again.
can change.
Here we go.
We can all
This-
change our voices.
No, but,
Hi,
like,
I'm
they've got
Duke.
this like new sort of like AI thing, so I can change my voice to a Karen.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
I
How does
haven't
that sound
tried
like
this
then?
before.
try
Let's
it.
have a go. Let's go.
Give it a go. Hello. Hey. Does it
You
work?
sound exactly the
No,
same.
no,
Okay,
you just sound
sounds
like
the same. Right.
Has to talk
Didn't
to someone's manager.
didn't work. This is great. Great stuff.
This is great podcasting, Chinny. I'm impressed
Yeah, I'm
with
very-
your hilarity. It's just
Hello?
hilarious.
No, it doesn't work.
Yeah,
Please
still
no.
you, Chinny.
No, whatever.
Wow.
I'll just do
That
this.
was worth it.
Does this work?
You should have just put a voice on and then we'd have just thought it was happening. Hello. Brilliant.
I'm a Karen. No, I don't know.
That sounds
I don't know
just
what's
like a
going on.
Karen. No, I like it.
This is a great experiment. I'm glad we did this
Oh,
during
yeah,
the
I'm
show.
totally
not
on.
before or after.
I figured it out.
Here we go.
Karen.
Hello.
I'm
Karen.
Karen. And you can't park there, actually. That's a violation of my rights.
What about
What a...
We'll go. I'll do one more and then we'll
Go on,
get
go on,
You
that
moving.
need
does
to have
sound like a
something to
Karen,
say.
okay.
Just go.
So we've
Yeah,
got
go.
different names for these AI voices like Joe, Agatha, Jackie, Matt.
Is there a
Hey.
Fred? Is there a Fred?
There's not a Fred. There's
Oh,
a Chad.
Chad, go with Chad. We'll pretend
Right,
it's
let's
Fred.
see, Chad. Okay.
Here we go.
Yo,
Like a
what's up,
dude. Hold on,
bro?
here we go. Yo,
What's up, bro? What's going on, dude? Video game
It
for
sounds much more mangled than it
nerds.
does different.
Yeah, it does.
Fair
Fair
enough.
enough.
You should
But
you
it's
should have
cute.
tried Sony Ain't Got Games. That's what you should have said.
Well, now
well,
I'm
then-
Maybe
hello.
Chad Warden.
I'm
changed my
You didn't
voice
say Sony ain't got games.
to
You said-
to
Mark.
Marcus.
It's too creepy.
I
I don't like it. I don't like it.
It was a
No.
bit
Yeah,
dark. It
it's
was a
little
bit deep.
bizarre,
Yeah,
but
it's a
Deep
bit
It's
voice.
fun.
That
That's
was.
cute, and thank
cute.
you for sharing that.
Cute.
So. All right, welcome everybody. We are a video game podcast. We are not military veterans. We're veterans of the gaming lifestyle. And I just woke up from a nap, so I am out of it.
You do. I'll be honest. When you first came on, Duke, I'm like, it doesn't sound like Duke. Sounds a bit, a bit down almost, a little bit flat.
It's just
So we need to pump you up.
disoriented.
We need to pump you
I
up.
was up at 4:45 a.m. today, and so I
Wow, that
needed
is
a nap.
early.
James
That
Bevan
is
in
a
the chat
yes.
says yes, more sound effects. I think that's sarcasm.
Yeah, can't wait for more sound effects.
podcast ever.
Wow.
I have
Yeah.
a brand new sound effect that I
Oh
will
God.
Ooh,
that
let's
I'll
hear
be
it.
playing.
Or are you going to wait for the
No,
right
no.
time?
No,
I'm
no,
gonna
no.
wait
There's
for
going to
it.
be a moment.
I
I'm guessing.
loaded it up in my thing, which is why you're hearing all these voices again, because I had to figure out how to do it.
Well, I have a new sound effect too that I will play at the right moment. But
Oh,
Yeah. Anyway,
So, stay tuned for that, people.
I've
It's
been
going to be great.
bloody painting the baby's room all day.
I was going to say, you've been
yeah.
painting a baby. Then I'm like,
I've
I've
that's
been
it.
painting
painting a
Dream, isn't it?
baby.
What
Oh,
colour did you
right.
paint it?
Green.
Nice, I like it. Neutral.
Alien
Keeping it
baby.
neutral.
No, I've been painting the baby's room.
So what colour have you chosen as you don't know? the
No,
baby? What did
so
you go with?
we've gone with so the theme is moon and stars. Moon
Ah,
and stars.
nice. Like that, like that.
So we have gone with like a dark blue
Nice.
because that represents like the sort of night sky, and then the other walls are going to be
Yeah.
like just plain white.
Okay.
So one wall blue and then all the other walls white, and we got like a big moon decal thing that we're going to put on, and
Nice.
some stars, and yeah, we're just going to make it
So
all.
you're gonna
moon.
raise
Sounds
this
like
baby
the
as a
kind of
pagan
room
instead.
I'd like, to be honest.
Yeah,
You know, sounds
it is.
very relaxing.
Yeah, it's all just nice.
That's not what you
moon.
want in your baby's room, though, because then your baby will be boring.
Why? Why will the baby be boring?
Because he's gonna be relaxed all the time. You want the
Well,
baby
there's
to be
nothing wrong with that.
energetic and full of.
Well, we
That's
was
what
gonna
you
cover
want.
it
You want
with,
a
like-
relaxed baby. Trust me.
with like hardcore,
Nuh-uh.
like 80s punk and
Yeah, exactly. Twisted Sister, man.
Twisted
Judas
Sister
Priest.
and the Sex Pistols.
Get it
and,
up
like,
there.
all that sort of stuff. But we just,
And
you
you
know
can play
what?
that music constantly.
It was a
right?
coin flip, to be honest, and we
I wanna rock.
we went with the moon and stars thing. So yeah, I like all.
It's
well,
your baby. You get to do what you want.
most
I'm
of
just
the
saying,
day
you're gonna have a-
yesterday.
You're gonna have a boring baby.
I tell you what it is. It's like it's things that you don't think are going to hold you up that take the most time. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a big
Yeah.
wardrobe in there, or closet, as Americans would say, and it's like I thought, oh, I'm just going to move this wardrobe over to the other side of the room, and that's going to be
Yeah.
easy. And it turned out to be like half of the day yesterday because it's
That'll do
really
it.
heavy. But then I found out that this wardrobe is like split in two halves. So when you look into it, it's actually two wardrobes like stitched together. And you're like, oh, now I've got to like undo the whole thing. So it was easier just to kind of unscrew the whole thing and move it, which I eventually
Sure.
did. And I had to take the doors off, and the doors were like really heavy. And then like masking all the bloody walls took most of the time. So
Sure.
and then today, like, because I did the white today. I did the blue yesterday. I did the white today. Masking all the other walls, all the other bits, took most of the day today. And then I ran out of masking time. And I'll go again. My mask. So
Oh, tell you, decorating is a nightmare, isn't it?
so I was just like, when I actually started painting, it didn't take that long. But it's all the prep.
Oh, yeah, it is.
That's right.
Yeah, it is.
And we're well into story time. so I
My
might as well
favorite
play this
time.
now.
It's story time.
Story time.
There's not much else.
No,
That was
I
the
went
story.
to Jamiroquai on Wednesday. So
Oh
it's
yeah,
fine,
I like
folks.
saying it like that because it sounds like a place. It's like
It does. I went to
the land of
Jamiroquai. Oh yeah, it
Jamiroquai.
was a beautiful, weird, sort of spaced out.
Yeah, with
place.
everyone wears big hats.
Everyone wore big hats. No, but supporting him was the fun-loving criminals.
Yeah, you told me to
And-
listen to them last week.
And I'll be honest, yeah, Scooby Snacks was was about the only song I actually remember recognizing by them. They were a bit shouty, if I'm being
He's
honest.
a bit of a knob, though, isn't he? That lead singer. Like, have you seen him
little bit
on
of a knob.
Buzzcocks. Did you see him on there? And he's like really weird.
It was really weird, and the sound levels just weren't right. You know when someone it sounded muffled. There was a lot of bass, almost
That's
too
what
much
you want in a
bass.
live show. Is a lot of bass.
Yeah, but you want to hear the voices as well. You could, do you know what? I couldn't have told you what he was singing most of the time. It was that muffled.
You should know the songs well enough, not care. I'm just playing.
Yeah,
I hear
only
you.
knew
That's
Scooby
that
Snacks.
that that's frustrating.
The lead singer's name is Brian Fastless.
Actually, it's
Lesser.
Jim Thompson.
Yeah, all the way from New York
The
City.
band, I don't think the band saw much success in America, really. But,
No, but
I've never heard of him. So.
Yeah, they're from
Except
New
for-
York. They're from New York, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but
well,
what was
Boogie Down
weird
Productions
was-
is also
don't
from
do
New York.
that. Oh no, that's
the
not the lead
drummer-
singer. That's not the lead singer. That's...
Right
didn't
now, I
think
don't
it
know
was
what
the
to
lead
believe.
singer. What is the lead singer called?
Nobody knows.
I don't know.
Fred
No,
Thompson,
the
like I
drummer's
said.
Frank Bennett.
Yeah, the
Beanie?
drummer did a lot of talk. What was weird about the drummer though, when he was speaking, sometimes he sounded American and sometimes he sounded British, and I'm like, is he just putting on an accent? What the
He's
hell
from
is going
Leicester.
on?
Because you're wearing off.
Is
on
he? That would explain why he sounded a little bit American. Sometimes he didn't. I
He's
don't
from
know.
Leicester.
That does make sense.
Yeah, well, that kind of makes sense.
People
But
from
yeah,
Leicester
they
are
were
weird.
all right. And then Jake Shears followed them, which is the lead singer of the Scissor Sisters.
Oh, yeah.
And to say he was flamboyant is a bit of an understatement.
He's a flamboyant guy.
He's a flamboyant. He came out in this blue sequined jumpsuit getup, right? Which he bounced around in. And then 3 songs in, he stripped that off. And underneath that, he had a vest and like old sports, like 70s sports shorts. And he
Yeah.
bounced around in that for 3 songs. Then he stripped that off. And underneath that, he had shiny pink lycra vest and hot pants.
Hmm.
Which
Sounds
he bounced,
awesome.
which he bounced around in for about 3 songs, and I was kind of glad they finished there because I didn't want to see any more being taken off him. I'm being
Well,
quite
then
honest.
you're not there for the right reasons then.
Obviously not.
His real name
Sounds
is
great.
Jason Salads.
Oh, Jake Shears. Is that what
Loves
he's really
to change clothing.
But you know, he was real. They were really good. I was quite impressed with Jake
I'd
Shears.
imagine
He sang all the Scissor
The
Sisters,
Scissor Sisters.
hits. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I imagine they're good. Or he's
Yeah.
good.
So they
Why
were
would
pretty
you
good.
imagine they're good?
Because they're a
you
good
know
they're
band,
good
and they
band,
have
it's
good energy,
Okay,
whereas
fair
the Fun
enough.
Loving
Alright, I didn't know if you'd
Criminals
ever
are
heard of them,
like
it's just-
Yeah,
just the three guys from New York or whatever. one
yeah.
from
We're
left
ghetto.
field.
We're ghetto. Look at us. We're ghetto.
Okay.
Kind of stuff. And then Jamiroquai came on, and that was a bit of a shock. Because he
Why-
came
what was
on.
Why?
shocking
Because you was at a Jamiroquai gig. Did you not expect him to be there?
No, he looked like a bit
What?
of a.
Who the fuck is that?
No, he
When I
looked
went
like
to
a
see
bit of
Chris
a...
Rock,
Do
to
you
be
know,
honest, the last
actually,
person I expected to come out was Chris Rock.
actually, Duke,
Have fun at the Bob Saget
That-
show. It's Bob Seger. Ah,
that statement
dang
you
it.
just made was fairly accurate. Who the fuck is that? Because I'll be honest, he looked like a fat slob who just stumbled onto the stage by mistake.
Oh snap!
And I was like,
Bow.
hey, is that really JK? Oh my god, he used to be so slick and cool and trendy, and
Did
now
they
he's
make
like
good music sounds?
tubby and
So much
chunky.
of this review has to do with how people looked. And
Yeah, but you know
Because-
what? You're
because
expecting one
Stu
thing.
is a
when I go to
shallow-
a
You see
concert, I
another.
like to talk about the music, but
See
I'm a
another.
weirdo.
And he had a bit of like he had like 2 days growth of grey stubble, and I was just like, wow, he has let himself go a bit. But do you know
Like
what?
you're the
though?
fucking peak of thickness.
Yeah, look at me, man. I'm a fucking Adonis compared to
And
JK,
it's the body
I'm just
ego
saying.
all the way around.
Fucking
Focus
Adonis.
on the music.
But that all being said, it was fucking brilliant, man. His singing is still top notch.
there
And
you go. That's what
regardless of
matters.
the tubbiness, he did jump around a lot.
He
and
won't
dance
fucking
and
let it
stuff.
go, will he?
I'm
He's
just
such a
saying, it was,
bastard.
it's kind
And
of not
it
what I was
doesn't
expecting.
matter.
You're such a
What does it
bastard,
matter?
Stu.
It was
We've
a- it was a bit
even though he
chubby.
was really fat,
That was
he
a
did
bit chubby.
well.
He did play on it a bit. It was quite funny. He came out and there was obviously all the food stands at the back, and he sort of said, "You could probably tell I've let myself go a bit. Could someone get me a churro from over there, and I'll have two donuts and some fish and chips." So
Who cares?
He played on it a bit. It was quite
Why
funny.
does it matter? It doesn't. It's the body.
It
ego.
doesn't matter, but he was excellent. I've got to say, it was very, very
I can
good.
just
Sang all
imagine.
the
I can
hits.
just imagine, right, going to this gig with Stu, and all he would talk about is how fat he is.
Look at that guy's clothes.
You know, during
Look
Virtual
Look at how fat
Insanity,
that guy is.
Virtual Insanity's playing. You know, like
Oh, that was
his
the last
hit
song he played. That was last song he played. Yeah.
And Stu's just going,
Lose some weight.
but he's so fat though.
Look at him. But he even made a joke about there being defibrillators everywhere and said, I might need one of those later. You know what I mean? He made a joke about that. He was funny. But
Sounds
I've
hilarious.
come to the conclusion
So
now.
fat, though.
I was a bit fat. I agree. I've kind of agree with my wife. I just haven't got the patience anymore for these kind of gigs because they're just full of a bunch of dickheads, aren't they? Let's be honest.
Well,
There was a dude next to us smoking a spliff every time his wife disappeared to get another drink.
Okay,
in the-
no. You are
What,
not
what?
allowed to complain about
What?
people smoking weed at a Jamiroquai concert.
No, because it was wafted in my
God's
face,
sake.
man. Why do I
So
want to
what?
share
Where
his
the fuck?
spliff
That's
smoke?
like he goes to see Bob Marley. He's like, oh God,
And
all
then-
these people with the drugs.
and
come
then-
on. Can you
and
please
then
go
there
that
was
way,
some-
sir?
There was
No,
some-
this is the perfect opportunity. I'm going
Oh,
to play
for
the
God's
sound
sake.
effect. Here, listen. Here we go. Sorry, I didn't have a chance to edit it. Oh wait, I muted the thing. Hang on a second.
Great.
Okay,
Right.
here we go. Oh wait.
Stu, you are wrong.
Yeah,
I
that's
am
what's
not
up.
wrong. I'm not wrong.
Thank you, Duchess.
And then there's some dude, right, came with his wife, right, put a blanket down, and he had
His wife.
work pants on, then some Mexican pashmina thing or whatever the hell you call those things, you know, like hand woven throw thing that you stick
I
over your
really
head,
did not approve of his apparel.
right? And then he proceeded to dance around everybody like some sort of fucking weird pagan ritual.
This concert I went to, there were people
I'm
smoking
like,
drugs and people dancing,
what?
and like I
No,
just
but
couldn't
he was
take it.
stay in your own place. Why are you dancing
Stay in
near
your
me?
own
Fuck
place.
off.
The
What
last
are you
thing we want to
dancing
do
near me
at a
for?
concert is to move around too much.
It's like piss off.
Regiment
Right.
yourself to a
And
tiny
he
square.
just looked like an absolute dick, right? And
I'm not
just like,
disputing
and
that.
Yeah,
that
but
he's-
oh
and
my
if he was
God.
bothering you, okay, fine.
Stu, was he fat?
Oh.
though? Was he fat?
No,
Yeah,
no,
what
he
was he
was very-
wearing?
He was thin.
Tell us more
He was
details about
thin.
how big his body
was
was
thin.
and what clothes he was
But
wearing.
fuck me, I'm just like, you're a dickhead, right? And then
Yes, well, I
as-
agree
as
that
you know-
people are dickheads at concerts.
Kay's quite small, as you know. Kay's quite small.
So are
She's
you.
only small.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm quite small, but
You're like a little mini.
we found a nice spot where we could actually see the stage through people's heads and stuff. You know what I mean? Through the
Yes.
gaps.
Yes.
And then fucking about 6 people decided to squeeze in just as he was starting, who about 4 of them were over 6 foot and completely blocked our view. And you're
Stu,
like, you
I'm
fucking
gonna have to chirp in here. Fuck you,
wankers.
because I'm
Stand
6 foot.
behind me. Why are you
I'm
stood in front
yeah,
of
but
me?
yeah, but you were always going to be
What?
standing in someone in front of
Yeah,
someone.
but we were already there. They decided to
No,
come
wait,
right
here,
in
I got it.
and
It's
then fucking
Otto
stand
from The
in front of
Simpsons.
us.
I got it. I got it.
Sit down, you're ruining it for everyone.
So it's
You
I
Ed
What?
Stu at the concert.
when I'm at a concert,
my
I have to
God.
stand somewhere, right? And I usually have to block
At
someone.
the back. At
No,
the
I
back.
can't.
Is the
Why should I
perfect
stand
Go to the
place for
back.
you.
Tall. Everybody
so
at the concert.
tall.
Listen up. We're gonna
No.
organize ourselves according to height. Okay.
No.
The shortest people go up front. The tallest people in the back. And
Correct.
you doing the drugs? Get out of here.
And no more
Exactly.
dancing.
Doing
And stop getting
weeds at a
pissed.
Jamiroquai concert.
And no-
I-
no more
God,
dancing.
What is the world
No,
coming
more,
to?
just everybody rock from side to
To
side.
be
And that's it.
fair, it wasn't quite as bad as Nile Rodgers and Sheik when we went to watch that at Haydock Racecourse, because people weren't only pissed, but they were also scousers, right? And fuck me,
Wow.
you don't want
I
to
tell you
stand in a
what,
concert.
you're offending fat people. You're offending scousers.
I don't care. With a bunch of pissed scousers, man. They were offensive.
Jesus.
They were like, oh my God.
I
One
went
of
to the
them was
Rolling Stones
touching me
concert.
constantly.
Everyone's
I'm
so
like,
old.
Why are you touching me? Why are you fucking... Stop touching me.
Mm.
Oh my God. I had to tell him 3 times to stop touching me. And they were touching Kay. He just kept rubbing shoulders against her. And she's like, stop touching me. What are you doing, you idiot? And he's like, why? What's the matter with you? Eh? What's the matter?
I'm going to make a
Ugh.
suggestion issue. I don't
Yeah,
think you
what's
should
that?
ever go to a musical concert again.
I don't
Not
think I
go to
should.
music shows.
I don't think I should. I think I should go
get
to
Hulu.
a
They're
theater.
streaming some concerts and festivals
Something
now.
more highbrow
can
might
watch
be
them
more
online.
appropriate.
Yeah, no, because then you'll go to the goddamn London Philharmonic and be like, "What? Why are you playing that violin? What is wrong with you?
I'll be there.
You? Why are you staring with those
I'll be
glasses?
there with my tiny binoculars to see
Why is
the
it so
yeah,
stage.
bloody
criticizing
loud?
every. Would you please move your head, sir?
Why are they
Yeah, I
playing?
do.
That's way too tall.
Why are they playing
James
the music
Bevan
so
says like I
bloody
sound
loud?
like a says I sound like an angry old man.
You
Yes,
do.
do you know what was
Yeah.
kind of funny? Right, I said to Kay before we went to this, I was like, "Oh, do you know, I definitely need to, do Glastonbury before I pop me clogs because it's on my bucket list and stuff." And like, after that
Yeah,
concert,
oh,
I'm
you'll be a
like,
great fun.
I can't stand
person to
5
be there
hours
with.
studying a field with a bunch
Yeah.
of dickheads, let alone fucking all day for 4
Right.
days. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
You'll
I'm
have
like,
a great time. Everyone around
maybe
you will
it's
too.
not a good idea.
Yeah.
I can't
Maybe it's not.
believe that people are drinking at Glastonbury.
The sun has
know.
gone
Oh,
down.
God.
What is your glow stick meant to illuminate, sir?
Exactly.
All right, moving on.
Where are
Stop
you
blowing
going?
that fucking whistle.
It's over, isn't it?
Oh crap! I always forget. I need to fix this. I got it. What you been reading? What you been reading? I recently watched the Bourne movies again because they're fun, right? Good movies.
Yeah.
They're not great, but they're fun. It occurred to me I've never read any of these. I've never read a James Ludlam book, so let me check it out. And I've been reading them, or the first one anyway. I don't know that I'll read all 3 of them, but anyway, I've read about 3 chapters now. There's already been 2 whores in the book, and
Yeah.
as far as I can recall, there's 0 whores in the movie.
Well,
And,
I only turn pages if there's whores.
Well, I mean, he gives people what they want, I suppose. A lot of people are really looking for whores.
This is the book for me.
I was like, I thought this was a book about a spy, and here's a whore, and there's this other whore.
Well, maybe
So,
maybe
a lot
there's
of
holes
whores.
in the story. I mean, what's your
Well,
problem?
there are whores in the story,
Oh,
apparently,
exactly.
but I just,
Well,
I,
maybe they're
I
pivotal
wasn't
to the
expecting
plot.
that. That's all I'm saying. I'm
What
not
about
saying
hoes?
for or against.
Are there any hoes?
Well,
Yeah, and
that
hoes.
brings us up to what someone on Rocket League mentioned, which is that he gets all the hoes, and I had to point out that I have a high-priced hoe, so
Ah.
I made that clear to him.
I have hoes in different postcodes, which
Area
isn't the
codes,
Ludacris
yeah.
song, but
You don't have I guess you don't have area codes.
we don't have area codes, we have postcodes. So,
Yeah, it's
I mean,
a
it still
little
kind of rhymes, so we can still do that.
Kind of. It doesn't have that same pop.
It doesn't, no.
But the Duchess wanted me to brag about how I have a high-class hoe, so now everyone
Sure.
knows
Yeah, sure.
my hose is high class.
Yeah.
Well, my hoe, singular.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about video games.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea at this
I've been
point.
reading something.
Now that we're done.
Oh shit! Wait, whoa!
Oh, shit.
Fucking hell! What the hell is that?
Man, I can't stop it now.
Yeah, you gotta stop it.
Yeah, what have you been reading, Chin?
Yeah, Chinny. Well, since when do you read anything?
Instruction manuals?
Yeah, exactly. You
This
don't
is-
even like reading in games.
Slightly insulting, but carry on.
It's true.
I I've read a book called Pregnancy for Dads.
Ah,
nice.
right, okay.
Right. And
Like
it's
Jake
just
Peralta.
Good idea.
it's
Good
100
idea.
pages of this guy just going, "You're fucked."
Say goodbye to all your free time
Yeah.
and your disposable.
Yeah.
And the rest of it is just like ha ha ha, ha ha ha
Yeah.
ha ha. It's like the different stages of pregnancy and and it's written by a guy and it's quite funny. It's quite like, like, oh, at this stage, if and then you're fucked and don't worry about it. So it's fun. I'm
Just what you want, that is.
reading a book. I'm reading.
Yeah.
You can't be insulted if we make fun of you for talking about books, because when I mentioned that my new book is called "Don't Read This Book," what did you say?
I can't remember.
Probably
Well, what's
I
your
won't
impulse
bother
now?
then. I
What's
won't
my
bother.
impulse there?
Yeah,
I
Don't
won't
worry,
bother.
I
Don't worry,
won't.
I won't. Yeah, exactly. So you've established your
part of my character,
attitude
yeah,
toward
it's
books.
part-
It's a lot like Kanye West's attitude. I hate books. They think they're better than me. Anyway, brilliant. Thanks,
This is why I
Kanye.
love
It's clear
Kanye.
that your mom was a teacher. Wouldn't she be proud of you today?
Dum, dum.
Anyway, moving
Anyway,
on. Video
video
games.
Anyway,
Who's starting?
I don't know.
Stu probably has the most.
Yeah, I'm gonna start right
ahead.
because I've been playing quite a lot more of Dordogne.
Fuck.
Oh,
yeah.
on purpose?
Dordogne. And
Okay, now, Chinny, if you want to object, you have to have a good reason why you
yeah,
don't
you
like
do,
it.
Chinny.
What?
You can't just say it.
If you want to object, you've
If
got
you
to have
want
a
to
good
say
reason.
something
Oh,
about this game, you
yeah.
have to have a good reason. You
It
Yeah,
looks
you
like
do.
dog shit.
just like the
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's pretty good actually. I'm really enjoying it.
I'm
on
glad you're
chap-
liking it. I
I'm
really
on
am glad
cha-
you
Well,
like
let me talk about it, for God's sake.
No, that's not what we do here.
I'm on chapter 6.
Talk about it then.
Of
the
how many?
video game.
Do you know how many?
And I have found a little bit of a problem with it.
Uh-oh,
Now,
just one?
maybe I'm just overreacting here.
Go ahead. Maybe you're overreacting.
Wow.
That was just
damn.
good. That was just good. Right.
I
yeah.
like the vast majority of the game. And
Yes.
the story's pretty cool, actually, as it's unfolding. It does this cool, obviously, thing where it's in flashbacks, and she finds something in the house that gives her a memory of something, and it goes and does that thing where it sort of flashes back to what it relates to.
Yes.
But there's a character just been sort of introduced in the story who's a thief in the game and
And
stealing
a
stuff.
whore. So it
But-
fits with the Robert Ludlum theme.
But the character's a black character. It's a little black boy, and I'm like, is that?
Oh,
There's a bit
damn.
of racial bias there, surely.
bit.
that the black
he's eating
character,
watermelon and fried chicken. Where can we steal
Yeah,
some
the-
stuff?
Yeah,
It's a
the
little
black
racist.
character in the story
damn.
is a thief and a bit of a vagabond, and's kind of running around.
And then there's a
stealing everybody's
Jew who
stuff.
shows up and takes everyone's money and
I
controls
know.
the
I was
media.
just like, but no,
Wow.
I googled it. See, no one seems to have a problem with this. I was like, maybe
Well.
I'm just overreacting a little bit.
Or
here.
nobody's played it, so they they haven't gotten that far.
Maybe
well,
they're,
it's
maybe
funny-
they're like, it's like almost like reverse racism. It's like, what if we, like, if we make it a white person? then
Oh,
it's
black people can't be thieves, huh?
just- yeah, it's like,
Wow.
it's like-
Like on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, black people can sell drugs.
I mean, don't get me
Black
wrong.
people
He
can
seems
sell
he's
drugs.
depicted as quite a cool little character. He's really friendly with
oh,
her
so
and
black
having a
people are
bit of
cooler than white
adventure.
people.
But he's also a thief.
I mean,
Do
that
you
is
know
true.
what I mean? It's just
Most black
it's
people are cooler
just-
than white people.
It's just weird. I was just a little bit taken aback that would be they have one black character so far in the game, and the one they have is a thief. I was
Yeah.
like, wow. Well, what do you think about that? I mean, don't get me wrong. It might unfold, and there's a nice plausible explanation as to why this is, and it might be fine.
I'm so
But
confused. Black people can sell drugs. Black people can sell drugs.
but yeah, I was a little bit taken aback. But other than that, I am kind of enjoying
Other
it.
than the fact that it was made by the Klan.
Other
in
than the fact
France.
it's a little bit,
It's a great
a little
movie.
bit
Great
racist.
game.
I'd love it if,
It's-
like, we
I
had
love it. It
this,
says all profits go to charity.
we had
It's
this,
like,
KKK.
we had this big debate.
European Preservation League.
We had this big
European
debate about,
neo-Nazi society.
we had this big debate about this game yesterday, and she was like defending it. And as he plays it, he just slowly gets more and more racist.
No. This is probably the
Keep a
smallest.
woman in a cage in the basement.
Yeah, and then
no,
all you're going to
this
do is
is-
pop this hood on, and then we go to a little party,
And you get to light up the night with the beautiful flames.
This
of the
is the
cross.
only problem I've had with it so far. It just seemed a bit jarring, you know, when something just a bit
Yes.
jarring with you.
It is a bit
little
jarring.
bit
When
jarring.
the game turns out to be
Uh,
racist.
Yeah,
It's
to be,
not
you know,
racist. It's just.
It's playing into a racial stereotype.
a little bit. I mean, it could be like I say, I could just be overreacting slightly, but I did feel like it was.
Or
a
it
little
could
bit
be. It
jarring.
turns out later that there's a good reason why he's stealing because his family needs the money because
Well-
they're being crushed by white supremacy.
Maybe that's it.
He was willing to leave the door open for the possibility there's a good story reason for her not having any memories of this
Well,
house she spent
no,
7
there is.
years in.
Apparently, there is.
Oh,
That's
really? Let's hear this
slowly
great
unfolding,
reason.
But I'll let you know. I
Okay.
haven't got to the
Should we,
actual
like,
big
maybe we
reveal.
should have a new section of the show where it's called "Let's Ask a Black Person." Do you know what I mean? And we we go.
Can
"Hey,
you sell drugs?
Is this
Yeah.
racist?
Is this okay? I don't
So,
know.
I could ask Tara. She's downstairs. I mean,
Because
Go on,
it's,
that's terrible.
because
What
if
does
it's
she
not, we don't get approval from a black person, then we can't be into it. And
Yeah.
unless it's confirmed to be racist by a black
yeah.
person,
I feel like it should
we
be an
don't
app.
have-
You should
we
be
don't
an
need to
app.
make up our own minds.
You know what I mean? You should have an app of like just
should
ask
be
a
an
black
app.
person. Is this okay? You know.
But anyway,
anyway.
that aside,
That
I do think the game's pretty good. Actually, I am
You
quite
would,
impressed.
you racist.
I like the way that the story's unfolding. I like the sort of mechanics are clever. Regardless of how you two feel about the artwork, I think it's pretty good. And it turns out when I had a little bit of a bit more research on the game.
Oh yeah, it was drawn by a
Uh,
3-year-old.
No, the guy who developed it has been painting watercolors since he was 7 years old, and he
is
actually
7
did.
years old.
And now he's 8.
But this is kind of the cool thing. He said if he did all those watercolors digitally, it'd take him 2 days to do each one.
What would he do? then?
Damn.
But because he did them like by hand on real paper, it took him about 2 to 3 hours to do those. So he said it speeded up the
So he
process
really
a
is
lot.
bad with digital art.
No, he just said it's just more time consuming. So then he gets a
Why
guy
would it
and
be
he
more time
3Difies all of that sort of watercolor artwork that he makes. And he painted, I can't remember how many, it was quite considerable amount of individual
There's
pieces
a lot
of
of
art
art
to
in
do the
the
game.
no doubt. Yeah.
It was really good. I mean, it was really quite interesting reading the game, and he drew a lot
Was
of the
he?
inspiration. Was drawn from his own childhood because he used to spend the summer in Dordogne with his grandma and granddad. So he said a lot
With
of
the
the
little
stuff that's
black kid he hated because he was a
maybe
racist.
maybe that happened. Who knows?
I'll get my revenge.
But he said a lot of the scenarios and things that are in the game were things that actually happened to him in real life. So he said
He got hit on the head with a brick, so he had amnesia and he couldn't remember why.
Maybe.
He
We
loved
don't
that
know. I
brick.
don't know. Yeah, we don't know the reveal. I will keep you posted.
Okay.
But I kind of like it. You know, regardless of what you two think about this game, I still think it's pretty good. I'm still
Sure.
quite impressed
That's
with
all right.
it.
Oh, well,
More
I'm
power
proud
to
of
you.
And I'm plowing through it, and it's keeping me intrigued, and I'm sort of kind of interested. I like the mechanics. I think they're kind of cool. There's you sort of have this journal. You know when she gets told off for tearing the page
Yes.
out of the journal. It turns out that was it was a journal that her grandma and granddad kept when he was alive.
Yeah, I remember that. And she said you can add new pages to it.
yeah,
and
so
keeps
you
it
can
going, which is
continually
kind
add new
that's
pages. It's
that's
kinda
fun.
cool.
I actually kind of like that idea.
That's kind of cool. And
It
obviously,
just doesn't make
throughout-
any sense to be like, go draw on the paper in the living room. Not that paper in the living room.
Well, I guess. But
Get your little friend to steal some. paper
throughout
for
the
you.
game, you get various things. So you get a camera, so you can take pictures. You get a tape recorder to record sounds. You get stickers.
Oh,
all
speaking
the time.
of sounds, I have a sound here.
Stu, you are wrong.
You get stickers all the time, and then you also
Yeah.
get words appear in the scenery. And when you collect those, they make poetry that you can put in the scrapbook about
Oh,
what
it's
you've
one of
done
those
on
games
that,
with
that
poetry,
particular
huh?
day. And the
Speaking of
poetry's
the
kind of
French
cool.
love
how
their
it works.
poetry.
So you get a word like free, or you get a word like adventure, and then
Oh.
it'll do 3 different sentences that relate to each of those things.
No.
And you basically make up a 3-line poem to put in your scrapbook to describe
Is it a
what's
haiku?
happened to you that day. Does it have what? Sorry,
Is it a haiku?
I don't
Those are
think
3-line
so,
poems?
but maybe I haven't really checked.
Maybe.
Maybe it is.
Could be. Count the
Uh,
syllables, man. 575.
I will. Do you know what? I'll check that because I haven't really thought of that. It could be a haiku.
Yeah.
They all could be haikus. But I think it works really, really well. And and sometimes it sort of describes what you feel of that day. And I suppose everybody's going to be different who plays the game because they're going to have different words and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so far I'm kind of enjoying this. It does remind me a lot. I know you've poo-pooed on this game with the mechanics, Duke. But it reminds me of that game that you like where you repair stuff, where you unscrew like radios and shit. a lot of the
electronic simulator.
no, the other one, the one where it's like the woman
Oh
who's
yeah,
moved into the
Assemble
town.
with Care.
Assemble with Care. It's very similar, I've got to say, story wise and mechanic.
Well, yeah, because that story was dumb too.
There you go. So it's very similar. But you like that game, so you don't even.
Yeah, I like the
bitch.
mechanics of that game. I am on the record as being very annoyed with the story in that game.
Yeah, but you
So-
like the game though, in general.
The mechanics, yeah.
Yeah, the mechanics are similar in this though, but you hated them.
Well, I didn't get that far in this game. I just spent 20 minutes trying to get into a gate.
Yeah, I mean, there's also tape recordings dotted about where because her granddad was obsessed with recording stuff, so he'd record like stuff that happened to them, and it's kind of a cool mechanic for memories of what how a grandma and granddad lived.
Every game has bloody recordings of people.
No, but this is
fucking about.
this kind of different because it's just them talking, or
I'm gonna
they've
die,
gone to see
but
a
before
What
I
other
die.
game has people talking on an audio cassette?
gone to see a steam
BioShock.
train go past or something. You know what I mean? It's
Also
kind of just events
Borderlands.
that happened to them, and then it's
Yeah.
like recounting that. I like
Hey,
it.
as I say,
you two
I'm
hate
glad
it.
you're enjoying it. I really am.
Yeah, I'm kind of in.
I'm not
kinda
glad
like-
that you're enjoying it.
Yeah,
I
well,
want you to hate the things that I
yeah,
hate.
I hate the
brother.
same things I
I'm gonna-
hate.
I'm going to try and make an effort to check out the chat. So please join in
Yeah.
the chat. Soul Brother says,
Yeah.
"What's good, y'all?"
What's good, Joel?
We're
Uh,
live on YouTube as we
yeah,
are every
live, that's
Sunday
good.
at
And
8:30 p.m. UK time.
Twitch.
And I got some M&Ms.
Well, I'm glad that you're liking a bad game, shit. That's good for
It's
you.
not a. It's a pretty good game. Just
Bad
'cause I think
racist
it's
game.
bad is subjective, I
Yeah.
guess.
And it's the fact that it's racist is not bothering you. That's really good.
And
really
that's not
noble of you.
subjective.
Well, it is a kind of a smallish issue with the game so
Yeah, a lot of
far.
white people think racism is a smallish issue.
Yeah.
I said a smallest issue
not-
with the game.
it's not a
It's
big
with
deal,
the
is
game.
it?
Just giving
And
you-
also, we've not
I'm
established
just giving
fully
you
that it is at the moment. We're just assuming that it is because there's a little bit of what seems to be racial bias
Yeah.
in the game
It's
and
a
some
little bit
stereotypes.
noddy, isn't it? Noddy was a bit racist, wasn't it?
Yes, no, Noddy was a little bit
it's
racist.
noddy, isn't it?
Bit noddy.
Hitler was a little racist.
Hitler was definitely a little bit racist.
Okay, right. That's that game. Brilliant.
All right,
That's that
anything else
game.
about Dordogne?
No, it's good. Dodoin, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, Chinny, you want to go next?
Well, you've got more than me.
Okay, Rocket League. I had a really great save recently. In fact, I got video footage of it. You could put this on the stream, Chinny,
Okay.
because I don't really share my.
Sorry, Stu.
sorry, I
are
didn't mean
you,
to
so are
interrupt.
you,
I was
doing
doing a
an
bit of an
impromptu
Elton John
concert
Rocket
here.
League.
The problem is that
homage
someone's
to-
smoking weed near me, and I can't concentrate.
Yeah,
on
they
the
are.
video.
Duke, I can't,
Welcome.
I can't load this video.
What? It's a
Uh,
tweet.
I know, yeah. Do I have to log in?
I mean,
Is
you
that
can't
why?
load it. Oh,
Ugh.
Twitter changed it. God damn, never mind, man. It's not
God
important.
damn it.
Anyway, I mean, you could do it if you log in,
I'm
but
trying
it's
to
so
log
stupid.
in,
Twitter's
but
trying to make
I-
everybody make an account. Get over
I-
yourselves, Elon Musk. What a schmuck. Anyway, the point is this: I had a really great save, and Rocket League is awesome. That's about everything I have to say about it. I wanted to show off my save, but seriously, don't worry too much about it. If you can log in, great. You show people, awesome.
I'm close. I'm close
Okay, great.
to
It was
logging
one of
in.
the. I'll describe it, and then people will be dying to see it. It was one of those saves. It looked like it was in. Everybody assumed the ball was going in. The dude hit it in a beautiful arc. I dove for it, and at the last second, I did a little twist jump to try to hit it with the butt of my car, and I did. So I started, as I always do in these moments, singing the B-52 song "Love Shack" with new lyrics that go like this.
Oh God.
Butt tap, baby, butt tap, baby. And I type them in the chat, and everyone's like, "What is wrong with you? You're on the spectrum."
Yeah, they probably do say that. I can imagine
They
why.
do say that because people have a problem with anybody having fun playing a video game, apparently. But shame, sucks to be them because I have fun with that game, and I did very well. And yeah, so Rocket League is great.
Oh my god, I have to use like a fucking authorizer app just to.
Oh, for
No,
God's
don't
sake.
stop. It's
I
not
think
worth
give
it,
I
Chinny.
think
It's like
just
a-
give
it's
up
like a
on
half
this
a
song,
second.
seriously.
Leave it alone.
No, seriously, just give it up. Give it
Really
up,
not
man.
important.
It really doesn't matter.
I'm going to talk instead about Space Haven because it also won't take me long to talk about that. Wait,
Okay.
maybe he's got it.
I've, not,
Oh, has he
I've
got
got
it?
I've got it.
Have you got? Have
He's
you got it?
Yes.
Oh my
Rocket
God.
League is so
Oh.
much fun.
Um,
I've been listening to what have I been listening
wait
to
a
while
minute.
playing Rocket League?
Wait a
I
minute.
can't
Yeah.
wait. I'm sure this is worth the wait. I can't wait.
It's
honestly.
well worth it. I've said
Oh
3
my
We
times.
don't
God.
to
have
let
the
it go.
technology here to play a Twitter video.
No,
Yeah, exactly.
well,
Well,
Genie
Twitter made
doesn't.
it a lot more difficult because
Um,
Elon Musk is a schmuck. But
Elon Musk is a prick. Okay.
Elon
Yes, he
Musk is
is.
a dick.
We're getting there. We're getting
we're
there.
getting there, people. Don't worry. This is going to be worth
Yeah,
it.
it's going to be totally worth the wait for the viewers,
yeah.
not for the so much for the audio listeners. Sorry,
Fuck
people.
Well, they're hear me.
we can describe it. We'll describe how amazing this
because when I
save
made
is.
the video, I had it playing at normal speed, and then I slowed it down, and I
Okay.
changed
Oh,
the
yeah,
handle.
So let me,
slow-mo.
let me describe what's
From
happening.
right on there.
The first
Okay.
frame is funny. Oh no! All right. You saved it. All right, you saved it.
I
was
saved
He
expecting
it.
did. That's what
Yes.
he said. He said
Alright,
he
sorry.
made an
And that's what.
amazing save.
Oh my
changed
God.
like 100
just on the
notifications.
line. That's an impressive
It's
save.
it's in the goal. It's literally in the goal. You can see it. It's
Wow.
literally in the
That
goal.
is pretty
He's on
impressive.
the-
Even I'm impressed, and I
Yeah.
don't even play Rocket League.
So the ball's on the left side of the pitch. Duke's on the right side, and he sort of meets the ball in the middle of the goal.
Yeah, I'm
In
just
mid-air,
diving
in mid-air.
wildly
He
for it. I got
remembered
really
how to
lucky.
double jump, by the way.
That's a great save.
Yay!
That is
one.
pretty impressive. Even I think that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's good.
It was worth it. Thank you, Chin.
What did your teammate say? Was he impressed? Was he like, wow, look
I think
impressive.
he said, "What a save!" And for once, it was not ironic.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That is an
usually, the
impre-
only
that's
time
an
people
amazing
ever
save.
use that is to make fun of someone for missing a save.
No,
and that's the thing.
I-
Here's the thing that really it's amazing to me that look, because I understand that some people like spamming that, some people like to watch other people get mad, and I think it's obnoxious, but I'm not going to get too bothered by that. If you don't ever say anything positive when your teammate does have a good save or a good pass or a good shot, then I don't want anything to do with you because
know
you're
what,
clearly
dude?
just clinging to your ego and your anger.
Do you know what, Duke? I've watched that video now, and I actually kind of think I can kind of understand why you're a diamond whatever you are player.
Hell yeah, Diamond.
Hell
One,
yeah,
baby.
man! I
right.
can't be
I got some skills now.
impressed. Can't be
Hey.
impressed, man. I'm like,
You
I
should
am.
see. You should
in
see
awe of
the
your Rocket
goals
League
that I
skills.
get sometimes.
I'm in
Yeah.
awe of your Rocket League
Well,
skills,
thank
man.
you. I better have some skills. I've played it for 700
You
million
should
hours.
bet. Well, to be fair, I've never
I
seen
should
you
be a grand
play.
champion. Yeah, you really should be better than you
No,
are. Yeah.
no, I wasn't even going to say
Okay.
that. But
All right, fair
obviously,
enough.
I've
What are you
never
gonna say?
really seen you play because I don't play with you. I don't play the game. And that's kind of the first time I've seen you like do something
Maybe I could
what I
stream it on
consider
Twitch.
pretty amazing. It looked pretty
Yeah,
amazing.
thank you.
It was
Ian-
worth the
I am
wait.
amazed.
Can I just say? I
Ian
would
in the
take
chat
the
says
piss.
evening.
Totally worth
Hi,
the
Ian.
wait. Hi, Ian. Totally worth the wait, man. It was brilliant.
Well, I'm glad to hear it.
I'm
you are
impressed.
right. I am worth the wait.
You were worth the
Okay,
wait, dude.
Chinny, you're up.
Yo.
Totally worth it.
Yo. Oh no, should I talk about Space Haven or you want to?
Yeah,
go?
you were meant to be talking about Space Haven, but we all got carried away
Okay.
with your amazing save.
Yeah.
Can I
Okay.
just say?
So Space Haven. This is a game that has overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam, and it's kind of like sort of a city builder, but you're not building an actual city. You're in a spaceship, and I played about an hour, and I got through some of the tutorial because it is a very intricate game. There is so much depth. Yeah. Space Haven, which is a game that I hope you'll be able to see on the screen. those
Sorry,
of you who
sorry.
are watching.
I was
That's
like,
okay. I know it's all right. Anyway, so Space Haven, it's
What is
pixel
it?
graphics.
Pixel.
It's like a city builder kind of thing, except you're building a spaceship rather than a city. So it's kind of like a city in the stars. And you start off with a whole bunch of stuff in the ship already, which I thought was weird. I thought you'd be building it from the ground up.
It
but
looks
you're
like
not.
Theme Hospital in space.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
well, that's the
does.
thing is these games all follow a certain pattern, don't they?
Hmm.
And so you have to place your air purifier, and you have to place some heaters, and you have to place beds, and you have to place a dining table, and you have to place a kitchen, and you have to place this, and you have to place that. And then, like, you need water. So one of the first things they do is they send you to, they make you send a little mining pod to a nearby asteroid to get some ice, so you can turn the ice into water. So that took about 20 minutes, which gives you an idea of the kind of depth we're dealing with here, because it's very intricate and there's a whole lot going on. And to be honest, after playing it for about an hour and getting through some of the tutorial, I was like, oh man, I'm exhausted. It feels kind of like work.
Like mentally exhausted. You were like, oh.
It's just so much to keep track of, and like, you know, it's not one of those games where you hover over something and it shows you what it is. So you have to kind of remember what everything is. And as you can tell, there's a whole bunch of stuff on the screen. And
There is definitely a
I mean,
bunch of stuff on the screen.
whatever. I'm not too bothered by that. but you have to keep track of your oxygen levels, and like it has overlays to show you like where on the ship the oxygen is good and where it's not so good and whatever. And so, in the air, and then there's like power grids that, power distributes, and there's high intensity power and low intensity power, and it's just, there's a lot to keep track of. And I'm not saying I'm not going to keep playing it, partly because the window to refund it has passed. But
Classy.
Oh no.
it's not that I didn't have fun with it. It's just that I have to be in the right frame of mind, I think, to want to play it some more. So whatever. I will go back to it. Hopefully next week I'll have more to say about it. But, very well made, but it's not going to be for everybody, right? I think a lot of people would look at this and be like, ugh, that's just so much work trying to balance all that stuff.
Mind you, a lot of these games you play are a lot of work. I often
That's
think
true.
that.
I am drawn to this kind of
I often
weird
think that. I'm like,
technical,
I have not got
intricate
time
game.
to play, all the patience to play that.
Yeah, well, I don't have the patience for racist French games. And you
Well,
don't have the patience for
obviously,
space games,
obviously.
so it's all good, man. Horses for courses, as they say.
Horses for courses, as they
Chinny,
say.
you're up.
Ginny.
Cool. I've been playing more of Resident Evil 3.
Oh, good game, that. Good game.
Good
Zombies
game.
killing everybody.
Good bloody game, that, mate. It's good game.
So I finished it.
Yeah, well, not shocked.
Finished it.
Hey.
It doesn't take long.
Well, you say that.
It's about 6 hours, isn't it? Is it about 6 hours, 7 hours?
7 hours exactly for me.
Yeah, about 6, 7
That
hours.
ain't nothing.
It isn't, but it's not. I mean, in the terms of some of the fucking games we get these days, that's kind of small
But
fry,
that ain't
isn't it?
nothing. And I
It
think,
isn't nothing. It
I
isn't
think
nothing.
this game gets a bad rep for being short.
Yeah,
because
it
every
doesn't
time-
outstay its welcome. I was fine with it.
Every
to be
time this
honest.
game is brought up, it's like, oh yeah, but it's not as like deep or as big as like 2 and 4. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it is
It's
fine. It is fine.
fine.
It is fine.
There's nothing wrong with that.
So I think it
There
gets a
isn't.
little bit of a bad rep. So, as we were speaking about last week, Nemesis Nigel shows up more often than not. So Nemesis Nigel is the monster that he's bloody running after you all through the game, right?
Yeah,
And
he
I
is.
tell you what, this guy is persistent. Is the word.
Oh yeah, he don't give up, does he? He does not give
is-
up.
And he's like, "No, I have a rocket launcher," and he's shooting you point blank with a rocket launcher. And I
Does it
can-
end with you in an underground base somewhere?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
does,
yeah, I
like
thought
all-
it does. It's-
you could say that about every Resident Evil game, to be honest.
Yeah, that is true.
It all
That
ends
is
in an
true.
underground base. And then he turns into a big swamp monster at one point, and then he turns into a big thing. And I've got a theory that I think Nemesis Nigel is in love with Jill Valentine, and he doesn't know how to express his feelings because he could have killed.
So he uses a
her.
rocket launcher.
Yeah, he's rocket launcher. He's kind of like his flowers. Do you know what I mean? He's like, oh look, like and
It's like a
he's-
boy on the schoolyard pulling
yeah.
on his pigtails.
because there's another guy who looks like Hannibal.
Do you
Buress.
like me? Check a box.
He
yes
looks
or no.
he looks like Hannibal Buress, by the way. This guy, but there's another guy,
Nice.
and he sees Nemesis once, and Nemesis kills him instantly. Right, just instantly kills him, and you're like, he's obviously just messing with Jill at this point.
Yeah, he's just playing with
He's
him.
just playing because one point you climb up a ladder and he grabs your head. He grabs it. He just grabs it, all right?
Yeah.
And he just picks you up and throws it, right? So he could kill you at any point. But he's in love with Jill Valentine. He loves
Yeah,
her.
he doesn't want to do it straight away.
You get
Like
to
a
visit.
cat toying with a mouse.
I liked a lot of this. Like I liked the fact that you get to visit some of the old areas. In Resident
Yeah,
Evil
because you go back to the
2.
police station, don't you, at one
Yeah,
point?
and there's a character in Resident Evil 2 that's in this, and you sort of see. So you sort of get the impression that this kind of happens roughly about the same time or just after
Yeah.
the events of Resident Evil 2. Yeah, and what's sort of interesting, I think, the best because in Resident Evil 2 you play as 2 characters, don't you? Was it Chris and Claire? Is Chris and
Fred.
Claire? No, what's his name?
Yeah. It is Chris Redfield,
Joaquin.
isn't
Chris
it?
Redfield and Claire something
Rumpelstiltskin.
right?
I can't remember who the other
And
character
if you play both stories, like the timelines don't add up. It's not like one story and then the other. It's almost like you do the same thing but slightly different. And Resident Evil 3 doesn't really have that, but it's almost like you're playing somebody's recollection of what happened. Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, I was here, and so it's kind of like you're almost playing like their memory of what happened. And that's something that I just thought was sort of
Kind of like
interesting.
Dordogne.
Anyway,
Are there audio tapes that you can hear?
yeah, there is actually, and there are several points in this game where Jill, assumes that she's killed Nemesis Nigel, right, little Nige,
Of course she does.
and she's like, "That's finished with now, and that is never gonna come back." All right, and she steps over his body or whatever, and he's bloody back. So to be honest, by the end of the game, I was like, you know what? I think Nemesis Nigel should win this fight because he's clearly like
He keeps coming
Invincible. He's totally invincible,
clearly
isn't he?
gonna-
You can't kill this dude.
back. Like Rasputin.
Yeah, you can't keep a good man down, though, can you? You know what I'm saying?
Is
when
he
you
really
meet
that good a
there's
man?
a Russian
Sounds
guy
terrible.
in this game, and like as soon as you meet this guy, you're like, he's obviously like gonna be bad. Like there's no way that this he's like, hey, you got to look out for yourself. Fuck everybody else, but I'm a good guy, I promise. And he's like obviously the bad guy. And there's the spoilers, the ending when you like win or whatever. There's like a helicopter on a roof, right? And you and Carlos is the guy with impractical hair.
I know.
Remember-
Can
remember
I
Carlos?
say though, he's got nice hair. It's pretty
Yeah,
good.
but
the
it's
hair, hasn't it?
impractical.
It's impractical, but it's pretty good. It's pretty
you
good,
don't
man.
want that hair in your face.
You don't want to go near any naked flames
No,
with hair
what-
like
what
that,
does,
do you?
What does Lee do to Clementine? He cuts her hair. Stop getting
It looks like he should have some sort of hair oil on it. It's kind of glossy
he's
looking.
just come on, mate.
Or
Put
he could wear a big Jamiroquai hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should.
God, he's fat. Anyway, the,
He has, by the way, he wore feathers. He didn't have a hat.
Yeah.
It was feathers.
I'll tell you who
wow.
didn't wear feathers.
'Cause
Carlos.
his head's too big.
In the game that I'm talking about. Right. So
No, he wears like
you talking
floppy
about the
hair.
game?
So
Floppy
we're
hairdo.
on this roof, and there's a helicopter on the roof, and like the town, Raccoon City, is gonna get bombed and all this sort of stuff. And like, he's like, "Oh, good, we can get away." And Carlos gets into the helicopter and flies it off. I'm like, that's lucky, isn't it, that he knows how to fly a helicopter? Because
Yeah, these army types, they learn everything.
well, he's just like a bloody foot soldier. He's not like a pilot. Like, do you know what I mean? He's
How
just
do
some-
you know? He might
Because
have
he
some extra
says
training.
He's just a military bloke. And he's like,
Just
oh,
some extra
yeah.
training, it's fine.
They didn't even drop a line of like, oh, you know, I love flight
When I was a
simulators."
helicopter
I was
pilot
back in the
the
service.
day.
Yeah, nothing like
Yeah,
that. He was
right.
just like, yeah, I'll fly it. And you're like, do you know how to
Yeah, I
fly it?
got
Do you,
you.
do you know?
How hard can it be?
How hard can it be? Crash.
Yeah, just waggle a stick and you're off, don't you?
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, I think this game gets every time somebody mentions Resident Evil 3 remake, they always go, well, but it's not as good as 2, and it's quite short. And I'm like, shut the fuck up, you crazy, because
Yeah.
this game is fantastic.
I still think it's pretty good. I enjoy it. It's a romp. It's a bit of a romp,
It's a
innit?
romp. It's a bloody
Yeah.
romp.
It's a bit of a blast.
It's a
And it looks, can we just say again,
it's
these
a
fucking
hootenanny.
remakes,
It's a
these remakes look amazing.
it's a tabernacle. You know what I mean? It's a right tabernacle.
I like that. I don't even know what that means, but it sounds
It's
right.
Resident Evil 3, a fun tabernacle. That's what it is.
Is that a
Fun
real word?
tabernacle.
Tabernacle?
I don't know. There's a church
Oh.
on the road that I live in, and it's
Are you talking about tabernacle?
I don't know, but I just every time I read it, I go tabernacle, and that sounds
Tabernacle
like,
works. I like it. I like it
Probably
better.
tabernacle, but
Fuck
that's-
tabernacle.
I don't know what a
Tabernacle.
tabernacle is. Right?
Tabernacle sounds better. Yes.
Yeah, it does.
tabernacle. That's what I should go into the church and go, hey, I'm here for the tabernacle.
How's your tabernacle? again?
Tabernacle.
So
How do
that's
you
anyway.
define
That's
tabernacle?
Resident Evil 3 Tabernacle Edition. So yeah, I did enjoy it. I will play 4 at some point because I've never played Resident Evil 4. So blah 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 blah.
Oh.
Anywho,
you're
the
in
chat-
for a treat there, Chinny.
In
You're
the
in for
chat,
a treat.
we've got Armari says, "I love Jamiroquai." Do you know that he's fat now? Anyway, Blake says, "Announce the Play My Game for this week so I can play it." Well,
Yeah, we kind of
good
forgot
question.
last week, didn't we? That was the problem.
Yeah,
we
we
did. We
did.
only did it after the fact.
Sometimes we
yeah.
just chatted to each other on the Discord or the
Yeah, we didn't do
WhatsApp.
So the
Well,
say
you
it?
know, there's a Song of Seasons game that just came out on Xbox Game Pass.
What's a Song of Seasons game?
Isn't that another name for Harvest Moon?
I have no idea. It could be Let's Play It. I don't know. Mm.
Okay, I don't know if it's on the console, but
I can get it on the PC.
Story of Seasons, Mineral Town, Friends of Mineral Town.
Yeah, this definitely looks like Stardew Valley.
Yes. Well, apparently people in the reviews are all in their feelings because this came out before Stardew Valley, so apparently Stardew Valley
Really?
ripped this off. Yeah.
Ooh.
This is a remake.
Well, let's see then. We'll see if it's
Yeah.
as good.
So that's
YouTube.
it.
YouTube pick
Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town.
YouTube pick some right shit game.
Well,
a
I'd,
tabernacle is
to
a
be
meeting
honest,
place for worship used by some Protestants and Latter-day Saints.
I'd have picked Fist Forged in the Shadow Torch, but you know,
If
we're
you want
just
to do
going
that
to
instead, that's fine. We have had a number of, well, no, we haven't. But anyway, this is, yeah, that's it's up to you. Fists or Story of Seasons.
What are we going with, Ginny? You,
Ginny, make a
you be the
decision.
decider.
Yeah.
The fists one.
You want to
Okay.
you want to do some fisting? Is that what you're
I
saying?
don't know what this fists game is, but it sounds better than Stardew Valley, which I hate. So
That's fine.
it's fine.
Okay,
Well,
we'll
maybe
go with
we can do
fisting.
the
Okay.
We'll go
Stardew
with
Crap
fisting.
one
The
after.
fisting game.
Well, we're gonna run out of games at some point, so
Yeah.
it's gonna be FIST Forged in Shadow Torch.
There you go. We'll do
Sweet.
that.
Shall we talk about what we
Yeah,
played
you're a
this week?
rabbit.
Yeah, shall we do that while we're talking about Play My Game, bitch? Let's talk about the Play My Game,
We
bitch.
should do that one. Welcome to Play My Game, bitch.
Yeah, bitch! Yeah, bitch!
Play my game, bitch.
This is the part of the game where we all play the same song, play the same game, whatever. Where it is.
Yeah,
Who
bitch!
cares?
Yeah, bitch.
Right. So this week it was Bramble,
Yeah.
Chaos in the
No, Bramble the
backyard or
Mountain
whatever.
The
King.
Mountain King.
right, yeah.
Bramble the
Chaos
Mountain
in the
King.
backyard. I like that one.
Chaos in the backyard. This is the story of a young girl who hates her brother and is trying to get him killed by leaving him alone in the woods.
Do you know,
late
I
at
did
night.
think that was the first thing I thought playing the game.
God
it was
damn,
like,
lady.
she just keeps running off and leaving him alone. And it's like,
Suck
yeah.
on his.
With all these
He hated
Scandinavian
the darkness,
mythology
but he loved his
creatures
sister.
around.
Yeah. And what a lovely story for the mother to tell their kid. Once upon a time, there was a
I
girl who went
know.
into the woods and she got eaten.
Yeah, she did.
And
There
then he
was a
woke up and
boy
she was
who
gone.
liked to suck his thumb, and then they cut off his thumbs. Now he has no thumbs. Good night.
Good night. Go to sleep. Oh my God.
That is kind of the stuff. Do you know what? That aside, this game is pretty good. I've
The
gotta
graphics
say.
are very nice.
Very
I would
pretty.
say the
Beautiful
graphics are
graphic.
very nice.
Pretty game.
But the camera is great, and that's really what makes this
Yeah.
game
Yeah.
different. Is that you are moving through a very nice area in terms of how it looks.
Yeah, it's
not
kind of
nice.
almost isometric, but not.
But I don't
Right,
like
because it keeps shifting.
I don't like the 3D platformy jumpy stuff because it's tricky.
I didn't
Right,
mind.
I didn't
that,
like that
to be
either.
honest.
It was
because
tricky.
didn't
I
mind
jumped
it.
a few times and was like, oh, I missed it completely. So because you don't know what angle you're at.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
it
I
keeps
didn't have
shifting.
that
Sometimes
issue,
you're
I must
going
admit, but-
2D this way. Sometimes you're going 3D into the screen. Sometimes you're at an angle, and so it's not always clear where you're supposed to go. Now, generally, you're going to go into the light, so that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah,
But
most of the
once
time
in a
it's
while,
fine.
Yeah, but once in a while, it's a little frustrating because you're like, where am I?
And there's
supposed to
obviously
go?
one bit where you're not meant to make the jump anyway because you fall down from the ground, don't you? Pick up the light,
Right.
rock
But
thing.
look, just
so
I think
you
it's just
gotta-
before that where you're jumping on the mushrooms and stuff, and it was just a bit.
Yeah, I didn't have that
awkward.
issue.
Yeah,
I
I
think
don't
what was-
care that you didn't have the fucking issue, Stu. I'm saying
No.
that.
Yeah.
Well, no, he's the
You should
arbiter,
just
though,
suck
Chinny, so
less.
he didn't
You
have the
just suck
problem.
less.
It wasn't a problem.
Also,
Yeah, just suck
my
less at
main
games.
problem with this game is that all the characters look fucking weird.
The faces
They do
are
look a bit. It
bizarre.
looks animated.
They, you
doesn't
know,
it?
like those porcelain
Kind of
dolls,
like-
that.
Yeah,
people-
Yeah,
they
I
I
look
like
porcelain
that
dolls,
aesthetic though.
Yeah,
to be
because
fair.
you like porcelain dolls. You're a fucking
I
maniac.
do like. I collect them. Didn't I tell you?
maniac. They look
I have some of those
creepy.
Yeah.
lifelike
Maniac.
babies
If-
in a room.
It's just creepy. They all look creepy.
But it doesn't look creepy. The little gnome guys are very
Oh,
cute.
they're
and at
very
one point you
cute.
have to they're hiding, you do a little hide and seek. That part where you're playing hide and seek with the gnomes was a little bit of a contrast with the warning that came up at the start of the game that
Yeah,
said,
well, you
this
soon
game
find out
features
why."
excessive bloodshed and
Yeah.
infanticide. I don't really think about a cute hide and seek
there was
game
some
with
mention
little
of
gnomes
suicide as well.
after
There's
I'm
some mention of
preparing myself
suicide.
for excessive blood and gore and infanticide.
Yeah, there's
I
quite
don't
a
know
bit
where
of that.
infanticide comes in with a little hide and seek with the gnomes, but that's a little bit of a disconnect for me.
Yeah, there's quite a. I played this game for nearly 3 hours. So
Well,
I
it's
played
only-
a
You
it's
find
lot.
it
only-
infanticide?
It's not that much longer
It's
apparently.
only
So I think
4.5
must be.
hours long.
Yeah, so I must be near the end.
And how much
I'm-
infanticide have you seen?
Quite a bit. There's it's
What?
like Limbo. There's a lot of deaths.
No,
further
but this
into
is a
the-
child. They're not talking about this child. That's an infant. At some
Well,
point,
he
is going
isn't
to
very
get killed.
old, is he? I've not seen any babies.
not an
get
infant.
killed yet. But he's
You
a
had
child.
a child,
isn't he?
right?
Yeah.
I
no,
would
just-
say he's a
okay.
child.
He's a child.
He's not
I
an
just-
infant. Infanticide is infant.
Well, I haven't seen a baby be boiled or killed.
Well, you
at the
will
moment.
apparently, because
But
that's what the
he
warning
has
comes up.
died a lot in some pretty gruesome
Yes,
ways.
I know he dies. That's the excessive
You know,
blood
he's
and gore.
pretty-
Excessive blood and gore. I want to know what the adequate amount
I
is.
don't know. I will tell you when I finish it, Duke. But he does a lot of wading through blood and guts and stuff as well.
Yes,
that's,
he
That's
does.
happened. And I'll be honest, I love all the sort of Scandinavian folklore, you know, all the sort of trolls and
The
gnomes
fairies.
and
That's fine.
fairies and all that. I think it's
cool.
cool. I really, really like it. It gave me massive vibes of Little Nightmares.
Little Nightmares is what I thought of as well.
Yeah, Little Nightmares, and a little bit of Brothers A Tale of Two Sons. It
Yeah,
sort of
there's
gave
a
me
little
those
bit of that. I
vibes
can
as
see
well.
that.
But I really like this game. I think it's probably you know, akin to the Planet Alana game we played recently. I think it's up
Ooh,
there
no.
nearly as good.
No, no,
I
I
wouldn't
do.
put it
I
that
do.
highly because
I don't know. I
the
think it's
reason I
pretty
found it
impressive.
frustrating is because, like Chinny said, I mostly didn't have a problem with what Chinny was talking about in terms of it was a little disorienting to be going sideways and then suddenly into the depth dimension and then back towards the screen or whatever. But the part that sucked was I got to some point where I had to hop from some rickety plank over some bear traps. And I just kept dying and dying and dying. I couldn't tell where the bear traps were, and I said,
I just want to say, this game. I'm done.
I don't even remember that part. I'm way
well,
past
you're
where
just
you
better
are.
at video games.
The only part I remember, there was bear traps. There's a bit where you go through an archway and there's a load of birds and you just have to sort of dodge around them.
I guess I couldn't
And
see
then
them.
yeah, and then there's a bit where you have to go. The bit was kind of interesting. There's the trolls chasing him with his lamp. And it's one of those where you have to hide in all the little thickets and stuff until it moves away, and then you have to like run for it and hide in the next one. And you go through some water, and there's those bear traps underwater, but you can only see them when his light shines on them.
Ugh,
so when the
sounds
light moves
terrible.
away, you've got to try and remember where they were to navigate around them in the water. And I did, to be fair,
Sounds like I
didn't
quit
get
at the
killed.
right time.
No, I didn't get killed at all. You know, it was kind of fun. I've not had, you know, you two were moaning about jumping and all that kind of. I haven't had any of those issues with this game. So you two
Well,
must
that's
just
because you're
suck.
amazing.
Yeah,
and
you
you're
must just
just
suck
so
at
smart.
video
When I
games.
say like I had issues, I mean I missed it once and then I did it. You know, like I'm just
Oh,
saying.
that bit's on the screen
did you
now
give
where
up?
he's
Or
having
you-
to go
did you
through
get
all the.
defeated by it?
So
'Cause
you
I
can
got
see,
defeated
can
by
you
it.
see, it just shows the traps are highlighted inside
I
the
didn't
water.
I didn't play this very long because I've been painting all day, so I only played it for like.
Will you play it
When-
more?
No, I don't think so because I don't like the. I don't like the characters they're just odd looking. They just look like fucking weirdos. And
The
that-
aesthetics are getting in your way.
yeah, I just don't like the whole look of it. I just don't like. I don't know. It's just not really. And I know what I'm in for with this game. Like I'm looking at this gameplay, which I never got to. I'm like, this is fine. Like there's not really much here that's like that I'm gonna miss.
Well, it's
I
not
think it's very
new,
well
I just
done.
think
I
the
don't think it's
setting is
startlingly
what's
new or
cool.
anything.
no.
The what?
I genuinely really like this. I think it's great.
That's
I
fine.
think it's a really good game.
There's a lot of
Very
like,
slick, very polished.
I suppose it's like this like Little Nightmares formula of like kids in fucked up situations.
Yeah, in peril.
yeah,
Kids
and
in
I
peril.
just like I
sort of
don't
thing.
know. I just
with excessive violence and
I feel like
infanticide.
it's been done and like I mean this but some of the characters on here is like weird and cool, but I don't know. I just sort of like this. There's no surprises with this game for me. Like I'm gonna play it and I'm sure it's gonna be fine, but I just feel like there's nothing drawing me in, so I don't think I'm gonna continue to play it. But
No, it's fair
but it's
enough.
only 4.5 hours.
I just, I think it's worth it. I just think it's worth it. But it's up to you, I guess.
But if you didn't do like the hide and seek and like the herding little orange hat dudes, that was annoying. I think you'll be annoyed by some of the little mini games you got to do in here, Chinny.
Oh, have you got to the bit where you fall through the hole and you laugh? They're doing this like cool cat. There's some sort, I don't even know what they are, but they're doing the kind of ritual where they're dancing around this big figure in the center who looks like the chief of the camp or whatever. And you fall through the floor and you land directly onto him and squash him dead. I was like, wow, that's a bit mean. And all the things just do a runner, and then they're all throwing little spears at you, and you've got to kind of hit them with rocks to stop them. But I just thought, wow, that was a bit, a bit mean. Yeah, just killed him dead. It did kind of make me laugh. Oh, it's here. This is the bit. This is the bit.
Yeah, look at that.
So they're just dancing around, minding their own business. Oh shit, he's dead. So, yeah, not ideal. But yeah,
Hey,
I
listeners, keep going.
generally I really like this. But you two again
All right,
didn't.
so that's a
like,
thumbs up, and I don't know if I give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Like I think
yeah.
I'm kind of neutral about it.
I'm sort of like what do you call it? Like thumb.
Certainly don't hate it as much as Dordogne.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
it's
I
a
don't
big
know.
thumbs up
I'm
from me.
undecided, so we got 1 thumbs up and 2 undecided thumbs.
Yeah, two kind of like.
I feel like you need to play a bit more of it, Chinny, and then make a decision.
I just know what it's gonna be. Do you know what I mean? That's what's annoying me. Is like I know what to expect. It's just gonna be creepy.
I agree
shit.
that there aren't really any surprises.
I mean, there's this
nothing-
bit here. Can we just say
Yeah,
there's a
and
bit
you,
here?
You're walking around blood and guts and bones. Like I get it.
No, he pushes the cage in, and then you get an achievement bait because there's something creature trapped in the cage that you drop in the water to lure the creature
an
away.
infant creature, apparently. That's what
Maybe
the
it was a
infants are.
baby. Maybe it was a baby in the cage, and maybe that's what it was.
I don't know. I just feel like this isn't gonna excite me in any way playing this game.
Yeah,
So-
I don't know. I kind of liked it.
But there you are,
Well,
and
yeah,
they
but
all
there
look
you
creepy.
go.
They all look like they're gonna kill you in the sleep. So that's Bramble
Yeah.
the Mountain King.
That's
Bramble
Bramble
the
Chaos
Mountain
in the
King.
backyard.
Bramble. Who's
Okie
next?
dokie.
Duke, is it?
Duke, or is it me?
Sure.
I don't know.
It's Duke.
Duke.
Yeah, I only got one more game, I think, to talk about. Is that right? Yes. There's only one more game. And it's a doozy. I got a lot to say about it. So,
Okay.
Rocket
Craftopia.
League.
Strap in,
No,
people. Strap
no.
in.
It's a survival crafting game
Craftopia.
Ooh.
called Craftopia. This is a Japanese game.
Uh-oh.
So we are in the land of
Japan.
Japan. And yeah, they said, hey, what if we took Minecraft and Breath of the Wild and kind of fused them together?
Oh boy.
And you
Oh
do
boy,
that,
oh
you
boy, I
get
can't wait.
Craftopia. It's really good. I am loving this game. It's not perfect. The combat's kind of wonky, and when you're trying to build your house, God help you when you're trying to put the roof on, because the build camera sucks. And there is a very rigid grid mode, there is a much more loose grid mode, and there's a free placement mode. And you think that would be and it is very nice you have those options. But the problem is that free placement is very difficult because the camera sucks, and as a result, my roof looks like shit in my house. But it doesn't matter because there's so much depth in this game. And I should say that when I bought it, they had a big update about to drop, but it dropped the next day after I bought it. So I played it for like an hour before before the update hit, right? So I played it for an hour, and I had a bunch of notes written down about how the game is, and then they fixed almost everything that I had written down in this update.
Oh, that's a good
In
time.
other words, yeah, I think they probably put it on sale, and this was the day before the Steam sale happened, which is going on now. People, check it out at steam.com or play Steam games. I don't know what it's called. Anyway, yeah. So I think they timed the update to come out with the game going on sale. So
Maybe they were
for
scared of
instance-
you, Duke. Maybe they're like, oh, Duke's
It could
going to
be.
talk about
Oh,
it.
no.
on the
Oh,
Make this guy
yeah.
mad.
We can't have
we
him
gotta get a good
like
review from
bad
the veteran
mouthing this
gamers.
game.
Yeah, exactly. So the twist on every survival game needs to have something a little different with it. This one has these ages that you advance the world into. So you start off with rocks and twigs and stones, and then you eventually, you can only get stone, and then eventually you advance the age into the agricultural age, and then you can plant crops and this and that, and you can mine copper, and then you advance it into the iron age, and then you can mine iron, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So
Did you
it
get to
used
the
to be set up.
sci-fi age?
There is, yes. There
Oh.
are like drones at one point,
Oh,
and you can
cool.
have them collecting your wheat and stuff. Yeah, you can automate stuff. So a lot of the reviews say that it has a little bit of Factorio in it, a little bit of Minecraft, a little bit of Breath of the Wild. You can climb rocks, and you have a little, stamina meter next to the character. You can sometimes see it
Breath
when,
of the Wild.
when
style.
sprinting. Yeah, it's very Breath of the Wild-ish, yeah. So it was on different islands when you got to different ages before. Now they've introduced the seamless update, which means it's all one big world. And I started over, and it wasn't that big a deal because I had only gotten, a little bit into it at first. When I started over, I played it for like 2 or 3 hours, and I was like, all right, let's look at this map. And it's enormous. It's a giant map. So
Is
it's
it
like, yeah,
procedurally
there's so much.
generated, or is it just the
No,
same?
No. It's the same all the time. And it's so, again, I don't want to oversell it because, it's not as full of variety as Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not, it's not like Skyrim in terms of stories around every corner. But that said, there are ruins, which are temples, right? With some kind of interesting challenges. They're not amazing. It's not a role-playing game, right? But it is a lot more interesting of a world than, say, just wandering around Minecraft, right? So in that it takes pieces from here and pieces from there, it does a pretty good job of taking the best bits from these different
It's a
places
strange
and putting them together.
hodgepodge, isn't it?
It is a strange
Because
hodgepodge.
when you see
absolutely right.
Craftopia, you expect it to be like Rust or Minecraft.
Yeah, exactly, and it's not. Now there may be a mode that's like that, but I don't know. In Japanese, so it's a Japanese game. Their translations are a little off sometimes. So at one point you go to turn in a mission and the person, I wrote down what they said. Picture, will you divide the chicken meat?
Nice.
It's like, of course I'll divide the chicken meat. Why wouldn't I? And then at one point you've been collecting these soul orbs and whatever advancement plates or whatever they're called, and you go to Anubis, the cat god, and turn them in. And I finally got him saved up, and I go to the cat god, and I'm like, I'm here to turn these in. And he says, oh, what are you here for? And then it brought me a menu with Japanese option 1 and Japanese option 2. And I was like, oh, no, I don't want to make a choice because who knows what it'll do with my soul orbs, right? And so someone told me, I didn't know about this, but if you have Google Translate, the app on your phone, you can hold it up, and it'll do it in real time. I didn't realize that. So I'm like, ooh,
It's the future, man.
Yeah. It's pretty funny at one point because you get a reward for a quest that does not fit with the age you're in. So the quest is make a stone axe, right? Get some wood, punch the tree, get some wood, punch a rock, get some stone, put them together, make an axe, turn it in. Oh, you made this axe out of stone and wood. Here's a motorcycle.
Nice.
Well, sorry, what? Yeah, sure.
I like
We're
it.
in the age of stone and wood, and now here's a motorcycle. The motorcycle is about as fast as you are running, so there's really no reason to use it.
Perfect.
I just got rid of it right away. I put it in a chest. I'm like, I don't want a motorcycle. This doesn't help me at all. Yeah.
Well
The
done
other
on
thing that's pretty
collecting the sticks. Here is a jumbo jet.
Right. They do give you a hovercraft at one point. It's pretty
Nice.
ridiculous. Yeah. The building serves a purpose at certain times, which I really like because most of the time it's just to make yourself a house, right? Apparently Dragon Warrior Builders 2 does this as well. You meet people who are like, I need a shed for my
I refuse
pigs.
to believe that's a real game.
I know, right? Isn't it crazy? That's the name of it.
Dragon Warrior.
Anyway, the point is that when you try to find this Anubis cat god dude, he's in a floating island, right? And you're like, how the hell am I supposed to get
What's
up
he
there?
saying? How
You're
the fuck do I get down?
Yeah, exactly. Help me, I'm up
Help.
there. Well, cats like to get up high, so that's okay. Anyway, what you do is you build, ramps up there so you can get up there to get to
Fortnite
where he is.
style. Like you just build in.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, right.
Exactly. So they're stealing off of Fortnite as well. There are challenges, kind of like in Immortals Phoenix Rising. So you find these red ruby gems floating over little, hover pads, and it'll be like challenge of sniping, and there are balloons far away, and you have to hit them with your bow and arrow. And that one was pretty tricky. I had some trouble with that one. The combat ones are a piece of piss. I can generally do those pretty well.
Question, Duke. Got a question.
Yes.
What game hasn't this? What game hasn't this stolen from? Like, is there a game that it has?
Rocket League. There's no Rocket League.
Call of Duty. Is there like any?
Yeah, not a lot of Call of Duty stuff. Although the sniping is kind of Call of Duty-ish, I suppose. But it's bow and arrow, so it's not the same kind of sniping. But,
Doom.
yeah, I'm loving it. Yeah, I said the build mode sucks, and that's annoying. You do have to equip and then place things, which is a lot of building games. You build the workbench, you can just put it down straight away, but not in this game, which is kind of annoying.
Can you customize the look of your avatar?
That's funny you asked that. Before the update, you could do a lot more customizing than you could after the update, because I spent a little bit of time choosing hairstyle, hair color. There were like 7 faces I think you could pick from. Now male, female, and I think you can maybe choose the color of the hair.
Maybe they're gonna charge you for that shit.
Well, no, I take that back. You must be able to customize your hair because this person has a mohawk and I do not. So I don't know.
This video was uploaded 3 days ago.
Well, you know what it is? I didn't make a new character. So maybe, it is from very recently. So, yeah. Anyway, the point is, I'm really loving it. And
what a strange game.
Yeah. It's a very strange game, but I think it's very well
I don't
made.
like the
and
way the
they're
crates are
updating it
moving.
constantly.
The crates are moving.
The crates are moving. Oh yeah, it's like a fabric on top of it, and so the
Yeah.
wind is kind of like blowing the
It's
fabric.
weird.
It's got a lot of attention to detail. It's a very nice looking game. So yeah,
What a
thumbs up
weird
on
game.
Craftopia. Yep.
Well, if I was to pick a Duke type game, that would be it.
this
was
is
to-
It
definitely
would,
speaking to
it
me.
would.
If I was dreaming a game that Duke would like, I'd be like,
Yeah, if you were just
that's
coming up
right.
with a game that he would like,
yeah, it's
that is
Exactly.
it. That is it.
Yeah, but you never know with these games because there's so many of them and they're hit
Exactly.
and miss. So I'm
There's
glad I
always
got
so
it on
bloody
sale,
many
but
of
it was
'em.
worth every penny that I paid for
I
it.
suppose Duke, you can't hate on Breath of the Wild, can you? Because it's brought you so much joy because of Immortals and this. And...
Yeah, all these
Well,
games
yeah,
that
sure.
are
Oh,
based on
absolutely.
Breath of the Wild.
The ones that did it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah, I'm offending
Whatever.
Stuart.
Whatever.
This is the best game ever. If you don't agree, I will fight you.
Yeah, whatever. I guess it's back on me.
Sure.
So
Yes, so.
I'm going to talk about something I don't play very often. Can I just say?
VR.
No, well, I don't
Is
play
it-
that very
is it-
often these
Stu, I've
days.
got a joke. You ready?
Yeah, go.
A good game?
See what you did there. No, I've been
Oh.
playing a mobile phone game.
Fuck.
Ooh, okay.
I know, I very rarely ever do this.
Which
but
one?
a game came out called Harry Potter: The Magic Awakens,
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
which came out
You wanted to
recently.
give transphobes more of your money, so.
And they're kind of playing on the
Racist
Marvel
transphobe?
Snap kind of theme.
Yeah, why not? It's
But-
a formula that works.
You know, it's kind of a full-on story game. So it's kind of a full-on game set in the Harry Potter universe, but with
Yeah.
a card battling system.
So this is Marvel Snap,
Cool.
basically. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it was a full-on story. I don't know whether there's a story in Marvel Snap.
No, this
don't-
looks nothing like Marvel Snap.
No, you don't play real people. It's just a card battle game, but you don't play real people. It's like a full-on set in the
No,
Harry
this-
Potter universe,
So it's,
but with card battling.
right. So it's an RPG with card battling.
Yeah, kinda.
So it's nothing like
Uh,
Marvel Snap.
No, it's nothing like Marvel Snap. But, you know, it's got card battles, and there's that in Marvel Snap, isn't there? Let's be
Well,
fair.
Marvel Snap is a card battler. That's what it is. It's a
Well,
card
this is a
battler
card
game.
battler, but we're a
But it's
story.
not because you're walking around a 3D thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you come
It's-
by this station again? I want to get off.
This.
If you'd have said to me, "Oh, Ginny, you should play Harry Potter and Magic Awakens, it's exactly like Marvel Snap," and I played this, I would be
Yeah.
angry at you.
Yeah, you will be angry at me. This game is fucking polished within an inch of its life. I mean,
Yeah.
it's slick. It looks good. The sort of combat system works really, really well. It's all completely real time combat as well. So you're in like a bit like a JRPG. So you're in like an arena, and you
Yeah.
have to choose cards to do attacks. And they're all different, and they're all obviously based on the Harry Potter spells from the Harry Potter universe.
Brufnanich
But if not,
Abracadabra.
abracadabra and all that kind of shit.
Your mum's a
No, it's
prick.
Abracadabra. There's a Steve Miller's band song called it.
There you go. So yeah, it kind of plays on all that kind of stuff. You get the cards. Obviously, you have time between each attack that you can do. You can move, so you get move cards, so it allows you to move away from
You
attacks.
can,
that
did you know that, Dan? You can move.
No,
Can you
you only
double
get so
move?
many move cards, though. So
Oh,
you have
no,
to
you
click on
could
one and then
move.
move to out of the
Why
way
didn't
of an
you
attack that's
start
coming.
with that you could move? I don't know. You could
I know. And then some of the attacks are really cool because you can like summon creatures to help you. And
Can they move?
Obviously, yeah, they can move. Every time you win a battle, you just get a fucking shit ton of shit. So they give you tons of
Alright.
cards, outfits, fucking accessories, all that bollocks.
Cool.
And eventually they want you to buy stuff, you know? They want to go,
Gotta get money somehow.
They go, look, we give you all this free shit. It's about time you bought something.
Come on, give us some money.
Give us some cash. But that hasn't happened yet. It's a great time waster.
Give us some
kinda
money!
funny. The voice acting's spot on. Everything's fully voice acted, Ginny. You'd love to know.
Yeah,
There's a
but
little bit where it
when
isn't,
you're
but the vast
moving-
majority,
Harry Potter.
really,
isn't
and
it?
really
I'm
well
moving.
done. You know, really good voice acting.
Great.
It's got flashbacks to the Harry Potter
There are,
universe.
I mean, it feels like this is, because this is a Harry Potter franchise. There are certain franchises they're not going to let a bad game go out with their name on it, you know?
No, this is Warner
X-Men,
Brothers.
Lord of the Rings.
So this is
Yeah.
developed by.
Oh, wait.
a company called NetEase.
I don't know.
They
I've
are
never heard of
based
them.
in China,
Well, they have
Oh,
done
okay.
a slick job.
and
can I
they
just say.
specialize in making games on phones
Games
that
that steal your
that
information.
make cash.
Yeah.
Sure.
So Marvel
That's what China's
Duel,
all
Ace
about.
Racer, Diablo Immortal, which was
That was
Oh, yeah, that
slammed,
made some
wasn't
money.
it? Or was
very
that this week?
controversial game. But guess what? Everybody complained
made a lot of
about it when
money.
it came out. It came out,
No,
and it
everybody
makes,
played it.
makes a bunch of money all the time.
Yeah,
so.
it does.
They also made a game called Tom.
But it was
and
all
Jerry.
from that one guy who got his character to 1 million and then couldn't have anyone to play with.
They also
That's true.
made a game called Tom and Jerry Chase, which I know nothing about, but it's Tom and Jerry. Yeah, so they specialize in. This isn't their first rodeo, Stu. They specialize.
No,
in-
I can tell that because it's so polished.
It does look very sort of. Well, I was
Elegant.
It's, like, I don't want to say it's Japanese because it's not Japanese, but it looks like it's got
Anime.
like an anime sort of Harry
Yeah, it
Potter, doesn't
does.
it? Yeah,
Yeah, it does.
not quite
Yeah,
anime,
content.
but like almost. Yeah.
They do such a cool job, though. If you're into the Harry Potter universe, you read the books, watch the films, etc.
Nope.
There are flashbacks. There's like a huge battle that Voldemort has, and you're part of. You know, it does a flashback, and then you have to actually take part in that battle. But it also shows you what sort of attacks you'll get when you level up. You know, when you're super
Oh, okay.
fucking boss
It
hard.
looks polished. It looks
Yeah.
polished.
It's
One of them
it's
is
great.
Move.
I'm super impressed with it. I'll just say one thing: my phone isn't the newest phone, and it is struggling slightly to run this.
What made you play this game, Stu?
I just saw it and I thought, you know what? I've played one Harry, played Hogwarts Legacy this year and really enjoyed that. And everyone's banging on like, oh, this is a next great Harry Potter game and stuff. So I was like,
Where did
I'll
you see
give it a
it?
go.
Where did you see it?
It was on an article, someone just sort of saying how much they enjoyed it and
Mm.
stuff. So I was like, oh, I'll give it a go.
Okay.
And it's
Well,
pretty
there you go.
good.
Glad you
It's
liked it.
pretty good. I mean, once it takes an age to get into the game on my phone to load up, and it does that thing where it's like, oh, your phone's not responding. Do you want to wait? Oh, I guess. But once it's loaded in, it seems to run fairly all right. There's
This
a bit
game
of
doesn't
popping.
It doesn't
load
play
on-
on the Steam Deck.
Yeah, doesn't load on a phone that's 10 years old.
Well,
you know.
my phone isn't quite 10 years old, but it's probably
I bet
about
it's
a couple of
close.
years old. It's a couple of years old.
Basically 10.
So yeah, it works okay once I get into it. So I was quite impressed it works at all, to be honest. But yeah, it works fine,
Yeah.
and I'm enjoying it. It's good. So I totally recommend giving it a blast. It's free to play. What do you?
And
you
the
know,
name
what-
of the game is.
Harry Potter Magic Awakens.
There you are.
Harry
Awakened.
Potter Magic Awakens.
Awakened.
Oh, Magic Awakened. I don't know. I thought it was Awakens, but it's Awakened. Apparently, I don't know. I don't know. I don't care.
Well, I'm just thinking if
Um,
somebody wants to play it, should they type it in?
Okay. Okay.
Just play it.
That's
Just play
fine.
it.
Play it.
It's fucking fine. All right.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Just look for Harry Potter phone game.
I'm
You'll
sorry for
find it.
helping out the listeners, Jay.
Yeah, that's all right.
You should be
I'm-
sorry.
It's
We don't
all right.
want the listeners to get help.
Yeah, we don't want them
I mean,
to
we
play
want
the
them to
actual
get
game
help
I'm
because they
playing.
need help since they're
Yeah,
listening
they
to this
do.
shit.
Sorry.
Why?
All right, Chinny, you got anything else?
Oh, you fuck.
Yes.
Go ahead, hit it. Tell us.
I've
Hit
been
it.
playing a game that I probably should have played 13 years ago.
Yeah, you should. Telltale game as well.
Telltale game. I'm a big.
When I saw this in your list, I'm like, is there a new one out, or is this the original 10 years
No,
ago
this is,
game?
Back to the Future, the game. So this came out in 2010.
I can't believe you
Yeah.
never played this.
I know,
really.
I'm a big Back to the Future fan. And this is actually the re-release of the game. So they did another version in 2015, which is the 30th anniversary version. And it's 5 episodes, and this is 2010. So this is right on the edge of them before Walking Dead. Do you know what I mean? This is I think this
Yeah,
is pretty much the last game they made before they hit that massive success that was The Walking Dead.
yeah.
Yeah.
So this
They had made the Strong Bad games. They had made
Wallace and Gromit.
the
Wallace and
Wallace
Gromit.
Gromit, yeah.
Yeah.
And a bunch of other
bunch
Sam
of
and
Sam
Max,
and
I
Max
think,
and all loads of stuff, loads of things.
Yep.
But like this was like the last sort of traditional game that they made. Well,
Yeah, these
Walking
were
Dead-
the kind of like proper point and click
yeah,
adventure games.
Walking
weren't they?
Dead was
Right.
kind of like still point and click the first season, but then it sort of changed a
Yeah.
lot. So a little bit of background about how this came about. So this is like they've got the license for the thing. the creator, one of the creators, is Bob Gale of Back to the Future. So Bob Gale is kind of an interesting guy because he has the rights to Back to the Future, and he said as long as I'm still alive, there will never be another Back to the Future film. So he's sort of protecting the franchise, so he holds it very dear to him. And
meanwhile, every time he has to hire someone to start his car because there's so many people who want to make money off the franchise, they're like, he's got to die if we can't make
gotta
a
kill
movie
him.
with him alive. He's out.
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Gale. Oh fuck.
I got you some egg foo young. I'm not eating that. Come on, try it. It's tasty.
So yeah, he's always on edge, Mr. Gale. So yes, he's very precious about the franchise. So this game. He has officially said that it's not canon. So this takes place 1 year after the events of Back to the Future 3.
Interesting.
So it happens in 1986. So this game is not canon. It's not what happens next. What it is, though, is a bunch of ideas that they had for sequels that they didn't do.
Oh, really?
So one of the, and I knew this because I've listened to the commentary about 5 times in the
Chinny
movie.
knows everything there is
I
to
do
know about
pretty much
everything.
Everything about Back to the Future. I pretty much know. One of the ideas was the what do you call it? The Prohibition era.
Yeah, sure.
The ban of alcohol. So they one of the ideas for the sequel was to go back to like the 1930s and explore that.
Cool. It's an interesting era.
Another idea was the sort of like a Big Brother type thing. So they changed the 80s into like a kind of dystopian sort of future. Yeah. So that was another idea because obviously like 1984 was very close to when they made it and all that sort of stuff. So that's what they do in this game. He's like, Bob Gale says, here's a bunch of ideas that we have for sequels. See what you can come up with. And there is an achievement in the game at the very start. The very first scene that you play is the recreation of the moment where they're in the Twin Pines car park and you see the DeLorean and it travels. And if you recreate all the dialogue perfectly, you get an achievement. I'd like to say that I did.
I wonder if Chinny got that.
I definitely got that achievement.
Yeah, you definitely got that.
I definitely got it. The Marty sound alike is amazing. Very, very good.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
Sorry, if I could jump in real quick. It was recently Michael J. Fox's birthday, and I have a slide every day that I show my students. Here's whose literary birthday it is today. And so he's written several memoirs, and so I featured him on my slide for that day. And I have a quote from every person on their slide. And so I went looking for quotes from Michael J. Fox, and I thought the best one, which is the one I used, is because people talk about he can't be an actor anymore. And he said, oh, no, I can play any part in the world as long as the character has Parkinson's.
Yeah, exactly. And he said, you know what? He was a big hero of mine when I was a kid because I loved him and I wanted to be like him. And as an adult, I think he's an absolute legend of a guy. What he's
done a great job showing people like
brilliant stuff.
Here's living with dignity and using your situation to try to make the world a better place.
So can I ask?
He's got a documentary called Still, and I haven't watched it yet, but I'm gonna watch it.
Did your students know who he was?
No, they really don't.
Of course they don't.
If it's more than 3 years old, generally speaking, they don't know anybody.
Yeah,
it's a bit of a shame.
So because it's old school Telltale, you do get very, very awkward animations, and there are some pretty fucking awkward stuff in here. But this is all complete fan service, you know what I mean? It's just as a kind of like fun, especially the first episodes that they really play around with some of the stuff. And some of the puzzles is like, you can only solve this puzzle if you've watched the film. Do you know what I mean? You know the scene where like he plays the guitar and the speakers blow out? That turns into a puzzle of like how to get Biff to like let go of something, so you have to do it again, sort of thing. So it's completely like just a fan service. Awkward animations I've talked about. Sometimes it's quite hard to click on what you want. Sometimes you equip something and you have to use it, but then when you're done with it, you've still got it equipped. So you're pressing A on things and it's like still equipped, and you're like, oh, it doesn't need to be equipped. They play around with some ideas. So you meet a very young Doc Brown, which is something that they were planning for the sequels, but they never looked into. So you meet a 17-year-old Doc, which is funny, and you get to sort of know a little bit about his father and that sort of stuff. So these are sort of like interesting things if you care about the show. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, a bit of backstory.
So I have a sound effect. I have a sound effect that I've prepared.
Ooh, okay.
So the episode 1 is like really, really like it's like I'm playing Back to the Future, so you sort of like I don't know, like you're just like wow, it's Back to the Future. I'm hearing the theme, so you kind of just on like a not adrenaline, but you're just kind of like oh wow, this is cool. You're like
Nostalgia trip.
Nostalgia. That's it. So it's just like oh, you're buying into the gimmick. Episode 2 is really good because you see like gangsters, and there's like Biff. It's like he's called Kid Tannen, right? And he's like a gangster, and everybody's got like zoot suits, and it's cool, right? Episode 3 is a fucking drag, right? It's so boring, and I was thinking like fucking hell, this episode is so boring. And as I was thinking that, Marty, the main character, says this.
This timeline sucks.
As literally, as soon as I thought of it, I was like,
This timeline sucks.
I was like, wow. Like
Marty and Chinny are like
They
that.
knew.
They knew. I was
Yeah.
like, Jesus Christ, he's right. And I had to clip it
intense.
because I was like, yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
There are some really fucking awful puzzles in this game. Really bad.
Yeah.
Like there's one where Doc is having an argument with his dad upstairs, and you have to fiddle with these experiments based on clues of what he's arguing with to his dad.
I think that's where I stopped playing it. I think I got to that and I was like, this is kind of
and
annoying.
it's fucking awful,
Yeah.
right?
This story sucks.
And I am absolutely admitting this here that I am using walkthroughs to play this game because
Yeah.
it's so like if you don't use a
Yeah,
walk-
so like obtuse as to
if you
what
don't-
they
yeah, you're right. If you don't use a walkthrough, it's just ridiculous. It's like,
Yeah.
but
trial and
also
error.
the problem is like you say, for example, like you can go into certain situations and then it resets because you've got to have something else sort of ready to that situation. Whereas if you use a
Yeah.
walkthrough, it just tells you the quickest way to do something. And
Right.
I sort of I want to see it all, but I don't want to
Yeah.
fuck about, right? Do you know?
Yeah,
what
you
I mean?
don't want to sit there trying to figure it
Because-
out when it's so difficult to figure out.
Each episode with a walkthrough is an hour and a half. I don't want to spend 2.5 hours, 3 hours like playing one episode of this
Well,
stuff
yeah.
because it's like
Sure.
it's pretty dull, right? And the third episode, it's all right when it's like it's quite like a fun episode, like episode 2 was, and you there's gangsters and there's speakeasy bar, and you got to smuggle alcohol, and that's like kind of interesting. But fuck me, and there's another puzzle, right? And I was like, fuck me, this puzzle's awful. So I look at the walkthrough, and as soon as I Google the puzzle, there's like 15 videos on this puzzle, and I'm like, right. And it was like a puzzle where you've got to. This is why this episode is awful as well, is because it's about like there's like some sort of mind control, and it's almost like silly now. And I know this is about a franchise that you can travel back in time, but it's always made it quite believable. Do you know what I mean? Like they have like crazy like silly science to sort of justify it all, whereas like mind reading just seems like a bit of a strange one. But I suppose they're playing on the fact that like in Back to the Future 1 he had that big mind bracket on his head when Marty goes back to 1955.
Sure.
So they're kind of messing around with that, saying like he was working on something. So there's sort of like a mind control thing, and you have to condition Doc's brain to relearn who he likes and who he dislikes. And it's so fucking complicated and weird. it's just fucking mad. And
this is Chinny talking. Imagine how most people feel
I know.
playing this. Like, oh
I know,
God.
right? And there's one more thing I'll say about it. So towards the end of episode, so I've got one more episode left. So I played 4 episodes, right? And I've got one more left because I'm trying to fly through it, which I'll probably finish like tonight after the show. And at the end of this episode, you're having a fight with Biff, right? And it's so fucking stupid because he runs after you. When he gets to you, you move out the way, and then your character moves by a cage, and then when he gets to you there, you move out the way, and you're just stuck in an endless loop, and it's really hard to figure out what to do. And then I had to Google it and find out and look on the walkthrough. And I was like, fucking hell, I never would have got it.
Sounds like Dragon Slayer.
I never would have got it. And I was just in this loop where Biff was walking over to me, then I'd move.
Right.
And then he was walking over to me over there, and then I'd move. For
So what were you
about
supposed
like
to do?
5 minutes. So what I was supposed to do, I was doing this, but you got these records.
You didn't do it exactly right.
Like vinyl records where you throw them. When you throw these records, it slows him down. and when
Okay.
when you slow him down, you're supposed to shout for the dog Einstein to go for him. And when you goes for him,
Right.
he's nearby this table, and you flick a switch, and it knocks him out. And it was just, I was like, fuck, I never would have
Is
figured
it
that out.
timing and stuff? Or?
A little bit, but it was just,
Yeah.
I'd have never figured that out. And it was
It's not obvious that those are the things
No,
you
I
put
was
together to
like,
make
God,
it happen.
I was like, really, that would have like proper pissed me off in
Well, sure.
in an era where we didn't have walkthroughs and everything. And I
Yeah,
think
exactly.
there's a new character that's introduced called Edna. She's on the screen now. You meeting her as an old sort of sad old lady in the normal timeline, but in the newer timeline, she's like a detective or like a journalist or whatever. And then in the dystopian 1985, she's like the brains behind the operation, and Doc is like the head guy, but he's actually like a good guy, but she's like pulling the strings. So she's basically a massive bitch. And yeah, so that's
You have
sort
to be
of-
if you want to be a woman who gets ahead.
that's sort of the story. So honestly, it's fine. I think it's a wasted opportunity. I really think this is like it's a shame that it's not very good. I would give this like 2 out of 5 or something like, probably 1 out of 5 would be harsh, but 2 out of 5 is probably what I would give it. I think what a good Back to the Future game would look like is something like Until Dawn or Man of Eden, or those developers where they like massively polished like adventure games where they're really
Mostly
cinematic.
skating around on the hoverboards.
Basically,
would
I
be
think
the-
I think it
yeah.
needs to be like all Detroit
Drive
Become
the
Human,
DeLorean
like a
real
really
fast.
polished like
Yeah,
adventure
sure.
game where
Yep.
that would do this game justice. Whereas like a point and click adventure is not really
Yeah,
its
right.
strong point. And what you're doing and where you are after the dystopian episode isn't really that good. Like it doesn't look that different. Do you know what I mean? It's not like you're in
Right.
It's not like you're in what's that
Trust
film?
me, this place is horrible.
Like
You
Blade,
can't tell by looking
it doesn't
at
look like Blade Runner or anything. It just looks like the
Yeah,
buildings
right.
are slightly different in this one. It's just a bit
Yeah, sure.
sad and shit. So Back to the Future, the game, is a bit of a shit game, to be honest, which is a shame.
Barely worth playing if you love the franchise.
Barely worth.
Otherwise,
I love the
not worth the
franchise,
time.
and I'm like,
Yep.
I'll finish it because I've done 4 episodes out of 5, so I'll do it. But yeah, I don't think it's anything special, unfortunately.
All
So,
right.
there you are.
Well, good luck with that last episode.
There.
Chinny, Stu, you got anything else?
No, I'm kind of done.
All right, that's all the games we've been playing, people. Now it's time for some news.
No, it isn't.
No, it isn't.
No, we ain't
Thought
got time
there
for
was
no
something-
news. We've been talking
Didn't
about
Gollum
games too long.
close down the studio developers for Gollum? They closed
did
down,
they?
didn't
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
I
did
thought I
because
heard that.
it was a pretty shit game, isn't it?
They
So-
closed.
Yeah,
down the
but
studio.
one game and they closed the studio. That
So
seems
it
hard.
takes-
Yeah, they're redistributing the staff amongst the company. Though,
Project
so
Red didn't close down after Cyberpunk came out.
Yeah, but it
Well,
sold well.
Yeah, it did.
Well, didn't Gollum sell well?
No, it's
No.
sold by dog
Okay,
shit.
fair enough. Okay, well,
The game would
All
dog
right,
shit.
so
and
no
it's sold
news.
by dog
Then
shit.
what? Are we talking about
We've
email?
got
then?
Speak Pipe. Speak Pipe. Let's do
Ooh.
Speak
that.
pipes.
Speak Pipe. It's the way to leave a message for us.
Is this Derek? Oh, not Derek.
Not Derek. It's not Derek.
Not Derek. Welcome to the Ancient Order of Not Homers. Okay, yeah, this is from Saint Diesel and Nintendo, and it's 1:30. So let's listen.
Hey, veteran gamers, it's St. Diesel back again.
Yay.
I've got a little what if scenario for this week.
Okay.
I've been hearing a lot online and on podcasts about the possible successor to the Nintendo Switch this week. And ever since it was released in 2017, March 2017, there's been endless speculation about its successor.
Sorry, the Switch was announced in 2017.
It was released in 2017.
Released in 20. Holy crap! I didn't
Yeah,
realize it was.
yeah,
that
it
old.
was.
Well, shut my mouth.
And I'm going to call it the Super Switch for the SpeakPipe.
Super Switch.
Latest predictions seem to be possibly Christmas 2024. But what if tomorrow, the 3rd of July, 2023, Nintendo came out and said to the world, we are going to release the Super Switch. It's going to be a better screen. The games are going to run better, smoother frame rate. The internals are going to be more powerful. I'm going to fix the online system, bring it up to date. But there is a catch. We're not going to release the Super Switch until March 2027. So that'll be 10 years of the Switch, and by then it'll probably be the best-selling home console ever. And you'll love us for that. We're going to release lots of good games between now and then. By the time it comes out, you'll love us even more. And so what would you do? Would you react by thinking, my God, they've got a bit loco, got a bit insane in the brain? Or would you think that's a great marketing strategy? That's great Nintendo thinking? Or would you just shrug your shoulders, throw your hands up and say, that's so Nintendo? Right, shall we get out of this place, ladies?
Okay, that's the speak pipe. Thank you, Saint Diesel. I would say that's Nintendo because I'm not interested in handheld consoles. What about you guys? Would you get this?
Tansy Brain says, good morning, everyone.
Hi, Brain.
Yeah, 20. I mean, first of all, it won't happen. There will definitely be something between now and 2027. But
yeah,
Nintendo, they're not interested in graphical prowess, are they? They're interested in
No.
gimmicks. They were like gimmicks.
They like the stylized games that they release, and that's kind of their shtick.
Yeah, but like their consoles is always a gimmick. You know what I mean? The Wii was a gimmick. The Wii U is like a gimmick, and the Switch has a gimmick. So it's like they need to think of a gimmick, and they've probably got ideas for the next one. But to be honest, I just think it's going to be an upgraded Switch or something. But I don't know. I just don't see them doing that. If they did announce that news, I would be like, that's fine. Like, you know, I trust Nintendo to make games that would run on the Switch very well because, you know, Tears of the Kingdom just come out and I think it runs fine. I don't hear anybody talk about it. But
No, it runs perfectly.
So-
Yeah, it runs slick.
They know how to make games for their consoles. It's not like CPU processing power that they lack. It's like it's just imagination that they pour into their games. I haven't talked about the new Mario game that they announced, Mario Brothers Wonder, which is just.
Oh, I didn't hear about this.
So Mario Brothers Wonder is a new 2D Mario game, and people are a little bit divided about it. But what's really nice about Mario Brothers Wonder is it's a completely different art style because a lot of people didn't like the new Super Mario Brothers art style. There hasn't really been a new style for 2D Mario games for a long time. It's all this 3D models. People don't like it as much. This new style for Mario Wonder is very, very surreal. And at one point, Mario changes into an elephant, which is like just bonkers. And it's like,
but is it though? I mean, he's been a chipmunk and a raccoon, and
but like a lot of like the pipes start moving if you take like certain powers, and it's very trippy, and it's like it's almost like it's on acid. Do you know what I mean? It's like everything's kind of weird and creepy. So Super Mario's
it'd be cool if we could show the viewers.
But there's new animations for it as well. So like when Mario goes into a pipe, his hat comes off and he grabs it. Like Mario's a new look where he doesn't. The art style is different.
2D Mario 5.
Sorry.
So there's a new it's got a new style. Do you know what I mean? It just looks so different. The way he jumps is completely different. And I know these are like minute details and stuff, but it's like for me, it's just for me as a Mario
bread and butter
fan,
of Mario.
Yeah, it's just like a huge deal. You know that he looks so different and his hat animates differently and so. For me, it just if they said no, we're not going to come out with another console for another 4 years, I'd be like, this is fine because all I want is games like this. I want the next 3D Mario. I want this 2D Mario. I want, they announced a remake of Mario RPG, which is a Mario game I've never played because it looks like shit. So the fact that they've got a new one coming out and it's remastered, I was like, oh yeah, okay, I'll give that a go. They've got a Pikmin 4 coming out. Pikmin is one of my favorite Nintendo franchises.
Yeah.
So they could get away with it. They can do it. Like they could not release a new console because they're not in the same race, right? They're not even the same.
No, they're just doing their own thing.
If this was an Olympic event, they're not even in the fucking same stadium as Xbox.
No,
they're not competing. Yeah. They're just doing their own thing.
Which is probably the best way to be. Let's be honest.
It's the best way. Yeah.
Well, they're not going to win if they're trying to take on. And I think they learned that with the Wii U. Like the Wii U seemed like the closest they ever got to competing with the
I think
Xbox
the GameCube was probably the last time they competed, to be honest.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because the GameCube was a competition. They used to brag about
that makes sense.
The graphics and things like that.
Right.
And then they got the Wii, and which was, we don't need to talk about the Wii, but like the Wii U, it's like a gimmick, isn't it? It's like, bringing it to your hands, and you can see what they were trying to do, and then they perfected it with the Switch. You know what I mean?
They did. Yeah,
that's a good way to put it.
So I'm all for it.
By
I
all
don't care.
accounts, the
So
Wii U
that's-
was a complete failure, wasn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, but you know, like
Well, if it served as a prototype for a tech demo for the Switch, then
maybe that's what they thought of it as. Like just as a kind of like we know there's something to this.
There's something in it. There's
to-
something in
like,
it,
to
but we just
translate,
haven't got
like,
it.
Have a game console and have the same console become the main console, and because the Switch is a handheld console. Do you know what I mean? But
the dog is coming downstairs, so you may hear the dog in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's Elephant Mario. He's on the screen now, so that's fun.
Mhm.
Yes. So yeah, I don't care because they continue to make great games regardless.
Yeah. There you go.
Very good.
All right. So, Stu, would you get this Super Switch
Nope.
in 10 years or
No.
later?
No.
Nope. It's a no,
No.
from Stu. It's a no from me.
It's a no. It's a no. I've got a
Okay.
Steam Deck. Why would I want it?
Well, because maybe it'll play
You
a
can't
Harry Potter
play-
game. I don't
Yeah,
know.
you can't play bloody Mario and stuff.
I don't play that
That's
many
true.
Mario
You
games
can't
anyway.
play Breath
so
of the Wild or
yeah,
Tears of the
I've
Kingdom.
got a Switch for that. It's fine.
Well, but maybe
Uh,
there'll be a new game.
Well, maybe. It's not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough, man. Not going to be enough. Right, well, it's that time of the show where we have to guess what does it mean.
It's time for the quiz. It's time for the quiz. We play the shitty sound clip when it's time for the quiz.
That doesn't mean.
What does it mean? Right, okay. Here we go. The first one tonight is Off the Record. Off the Record.
It's. I imagine this is like recorded, like like when you're recording documents and.
Hmm?
So it's recorded documents, and then this is off the record. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
that's, I think that's fairly
Off the so
obvious.
rather than off the record, it's off the record, is what you're saying.
No, it's
No.
off the record
Off the-
because
no.
the record of events.
It's a record of
Yeah.
events. So you
Right.
when a journalist writing something down, like it's their record of
Right.
events, and then you go,
Yes.
"This is off."
But
the
I'm
record.
telling you this off the record.
the prime
Yeah.
minister is a lizard. Oh, okay. Thanks.
Right. Yeah. I'm not
Right.
for attribution.
Yeah, Duke, any ideas? Are you just agreeing with that? Is that your?
I'm just agreeing with that because that's the truth,
I think
believe.
I think you're both kind of right, but I actually think this is from police interviews back in the day, where they used to obviously record them on a tape. So I think it is off the record. If they wanted to interview a suspect, but not obviously have any evidence that they've been beating the shit out of them to get a confession, they would stop the recorder that they were using. Therefore, it was off the record.
Like if you're Donald Trump and you
Exactly.
talk about different practices that you do, but it's off the record, so it doesn't care. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Even though you're being recorded and it's going to be played into a
Yeah.
courtroom, it's off the
And
record.
you'll never face any consequences for all the horrible things that you do. 'cause
Correct.
So
what
let's
is this,
see if any of us
Brazil?
are right. Here we go. Are you ready? The American phrase was first attributed to President Franklin Roosevelt in 1932, who was
There you go.
recorded in the Daily Times news saying he was going to talk off the record, that it was mighty nice to be able to talk off the record for a change, and then he hoped to be able to talk off the record often in the future. There you go. So it's as simple
There you
as
go.
that.
So Chinny was right.
President Roosevelt did it.
President Roosevelt went, yeah,
wanted
it's
to
off the
not be
record.
recorded.
Not being
Yeah.
recorded. Okay, the next one tonight is a sight for sore eyes. Sight for sore
Yeah,
eyes.
good
I had to
question.
think about this. Is that when you say, "Oh, you're a sight for sore eyes," is that a compliment or an insult?
Yes, it's a
I feel like
compliment.
it's
It
a
means that-
compliment, isn't it?
Yes, it means that you're very happy to see the person.
somebody,
your
yeah, I'm
eyes are
happy to see
sore,
you.
And it's a comforting thing to see them.
A sight for
Where
sore
does it
eyes.
come from?
But where does it
Aviation.
originate?
When you were flying around, your eyes got all sore, and so when you landed, it was very nice to see the ground, and so it was a sight for sore eyes.
Okay, Chinny, any ideas where this originates?
I don't really have a good
Sight
guess,
for
but I
sore
remember,
eyes.
when you grow up and you don't hear things correctly, I always thought that this phrase was a sight for sore eyes, like it was just like sort of
Cipher.
one, like sight for sore eyes, Sore eyes. Like
Yeah,
I
sure.
didn't know it was.
You didn't
sore
actually
eyes.
understand what it was.
I don't know what it was. Yeah,
You didn't know what it
And I
was.
remember one day like figuring it out. Going, I sight for sore
Kid
eyes.
logic.
Oh, it's like for sore eyes. Oh, I get it.
Yeah, that makes more sense than sight
I
for
think,
sore eyes.
right.
I thought it was like Sailor V. I thought it was like some phrase that I just like in a different
So
language.
here's what
Hi,
I
Duchess.
think. This
Hi,
is
guys.
where I think this comes from, right? I think this is nomads in the desert.
Yeah.
And obviously traveling through the
yeah.
desert, getting loads of
Like
sand
a
in their eyes, and
mirage. They
it's,
see
it's
like
like
a
hawks and mirages and all that bullshit, you know, while they're you know, doing the nomad
and
thing.
their eyes
traveling
are so
from place to
sore
place.
from the sand.
And their eyes are really sore.
heat.
So when they come
the heat.
come across a proper oasis where there is trees and some water and all this, it's
makes
like a
sense.
sight for their sore eyes. That's what I'm guessing.
That's a
It
good
works.
I've no
Yeah.
idea, but that's what I'm guessing.
Better than my aviation.
I'm sure it's
nonsense.
not true, but it sounded plausible.
Guess.
It sounded pretty
It
good.
better than I had nothing.
It
so.
sounded pretty good.
Yeah, sure.
Jonathan Swift, author of Gulliver's Travels, first used the phrase in a complete
Oh.
collection of genteel and ingenious conversation in 1738 with the line, the sight of you is good for sore eyes, but it doesn't explain
Hey.
why his eyes were sore, I guess.
And now I'm gonna eat some Irish children.
Yeah, I'm not,
Sure.
I'm gonna- yeah, yes, hi.
Are you not familiar with a modest proposal?
What do you think?
Yeah, I'm totally,
Okay.
I'm
Well,
totally up
Jonathan
with that.
Swift's greatest thing he ever wrote was called
Oh.
A Modest Proposal.
How could we
where he
not
was
know
going-
that, Chinny? Chinny, come on.
Sorry.
Well, it's a fairly well-known thing.
Yeah,
I would
it's
have thought
totally
you would know
well
it.
known.
Anyway, a lot of people were talking about how the bloody Irish were having all the kids they couldn't afford to feed, and shame on them, and they're so annoying and horrible, and fuck the Irish. And so he wrote a piece that said, yes, it is annoying when there are all these Irish children around. However, we also have a lot of people who are hungry. So here's what we do: we eat the Irish children. And it was a very dry and acerbic attack on the intolerant, racist people going after Irish folks. So now you know A Modest Proposal.
Yeah, totally enlightened now. Feel totally enlightened.
You're welcome.
We still don't know why his eyes were sore, though, so that would have been nice to know. Why are his eyes sore? Why has he got sore eyes in the first place? Okay, this one, Chinny,
I think it's probably just a metaphorical phrase.
Yeah.
This one is specially for you. Specially for you, this next one.
For who?
For Chinny. This is specifically
Chinny,
for
okay.
Chinny.
Okay.
Go ahead, Chin.
A stone's throw. A stone's throw away.
Hey, there you go. You better
There
know
you
this.
go.
The company's called it.
So come on, Chinny. It's the name of your company. If you don't know the answer to this, I'm going to be very
right.
disappointed.
Prepare
It
yourself.
sounds cool. You don't need to have
Prepare
a reason.
yourself. Prepare yourself, Stu. Like I say to
Come on,
Tara,
Chinny.
like I say to Tara, prepare yourself to disappointment. Dan in the
What,
chat
every
says,
day when you wake up.
Dan in the chat says, "Evening, gents."
Evening, Dan.
I imagine it's like
up?
it's directions, isn't it? It's all like it's something to do with like, yeah, it's just like it's just sort of over there. It's like when people didn't know how far.
Well,
things
that's what
were.
it means. That's what it means. But
I
where does it
know, but-
originate?
It's just a phrase, isn't it? Like I don't know. Dave said it. Like some guy called Dave. I don't know.
I think I'm gonna say I think this is fairly simple. I just literally think it's you can't throw a stone very far, so
Yeah.
it's only a stone's throw away.
I
you can only,
imagine what we're
you
going
can only
to get.
throw a stone so far, can't you? What's the maximum you could throw a stone? What, about 30, 20
remember
meters, 30 meters or
there
something?
was a-
I don't know.
I don't know where I saw this. It was like a sketch show or something. Where,
Surely.
where it's like a hotel and it's like it's a stone's throw away from the beach, and like they go to the hotel, these guests, and they go, "I thought this was a stone's throw away from the beach. It's like 3 miles in," and they go, "Yeah, it is." And they put like a trebuchet and they throw a stone. And I don't know
I
what
like
that's
that.
from. I have no idea what show that is, but I
Well,
remember.
George Carlin said when we talk about crime, we say lock him up and throw away the key. This is a really stupid idea. How far can you throw a key? Even if you put it on its side and you scale
but it's
it
gonna be
like that,
further than
30,
the dude
40
in the
feet,
cell,
his
isn't he? So
friends
he's
will
still
find
not-
it.
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Also,
nobody
Mitch
throw it in a
Hedberg,
river.
wait, nope. Also, Mitch Hedberg said, "Oh, it's real close by. It's just a hop, skip, and a jump away." Well, that's not how I'm getting there. What are the directions for those of us who are walking, please?
Yeah, exactly. Duke, have you got any ideas? Have you got anything to throw into this?
Yeah, this is from
stone
David and
throw?
Goliath because he had his sling and he would fling stones all the time. So people would say, "Hey,
Okay.
where's King David?" He's like, "He's a stone's throw away," and he threw a stone and he hit King David on the head.
Do you know? I'd love that to be the real answer. That's great. I
Yeah.
love it. Okay, you ready? Here is the real
making up bullshit.
answer. Here's a real answer.
Go ahead.
The term for a short distance is a variation of a stone's cast, first used in early editions of the Bible. So you were,
Hey, I
you
was
were
close.
close. You were
Hey.
close. But it fell out of use. But writer John Arbuthnot, whoever that is,
I told you it was some
Okay.
bloke called John. I said Dave, but
revived
that's
it in
true.
the history of John Bull in
We were both close.
1712. So there you go.
So what was the
There
answer?
you go.
It's basically
It's
some,
from some book.
dude in the Bible said it's a stone's cast away.
Okay.
So you know what I mean. A cast of
So it
stone.
doesn't really
that's
have a
just-
story with it.
So that's
It doesn't really have a story. it's
somebody
just
in
a-
the Bible.
Some
said
dude
it.
said it.
Something from
Someone
the
dude in the
Bible, yeah.
Bible.
I
went,
imagine it was
"Eh,
a common phrase, like
I want to get to Jerusalem. Where's that? Oh, it's a stone's cast away.
Yeah,
there
yeah.
it is. Just
You
just
know,
down there.
like get fucked is a normal phrase now. Like just it's one of them. It's just a phrase.
And that's also from the Bible.
Yes.
So also from the Bible.
Sodom and Gomorrah. They're like, hey, welcome to Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah, get
You wanna
fucked.
get fucked?
Yeah. Literally.
Jesus is like, do you want this
Oh,
bread?
shit,
And
we
they're
got
like, get
fucked.
fucked, mate.
In the bum. In the bum. That's where
Jesus
you're gonna
Christ,
get it.
yeah, that was a turn.
That's what happens.
Bloody
That's
hell. Take it
that's,
there,
that's
Stu.
what happens.
I didn't know that was in
Uh,
the Bible.
This is a family
definitely
podcast.
is.
What are you doing?
Yeah, it's not the honestly the Old Testament. Ugh, there's some bad
Yes,
shit
it's
went
not
down
for
in
children.
there.
The sequel isn't as good
Bad
though, is it?
shit.
The second one, than
Yeah.
it's not as good. Less
Um,
killing.
less killing, yeah, less killing in the New Testament. Apart from the you know the crucifixions and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
but there's
But
only a
other
few.
than that, it's
Crucifixion's a
fa-
dawdle. At least they
Yeah.
get you out in the open air.
Oh, and killing all the babies. We forgot about all the babies. Oh, and,
Yeah,
and all the
infanticide.
Passover
Now we're
stuff.
talking.
Don't forget the Passover
What's
stuff.
that story in the Bible where like?
But other than all of that,
what's
there's no
what's
killing
that
in the
story
New
in the
Testament.
Bible where God's like, "Oh, prove that you love me" and stuff, and he's like, "What? How?" And he's like, "Ah, kill your son," and he's like, "Oh, that's a bit mean." He goes,
yeah.
"Go on," and then he goes to kill him, and
That's
God's
one
like,
of the parables. It's called
Go-
a parable.
God's like, "Oh, I can't believe you're gonna kill your son, you mad prick," and he goes like, "You don't have to kill him."
I
really,
didn't
it's
mean
fine."
you to do it. What the fuck are you doing?
Psych. You were going to
God's
do it.
easy.
Uh-huh.
God's
Get a grip, man. It
knobhead.
was just a joke. Can you
Who
not
was
take
that?
a joke?
That wasn't Solomon, was it?
I don't know, but I
I'm
just.
trying. No, I don't.
I
think
do
it
love that
was.
story of God just like, I'm bored. I'm just going to get someone to kill their own son for a laugh."
Abraham.
Yeah, I was going to say, wasn't it
Abraham.
Abraham?
Abraham, yeah.
It was Abraham.
Yeah.
Thank you, Google.
You see, I'm quite like not into the Bible, but I went to church every week, so I remember quite a bit.
I just like
all this
how fucking stupid the stories are. Like how mad they are. Oh, and this isn't in the Bible.
Two
right?
of every creature on one boat.
Yeah.
Are you out of your mind?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and-
can you imagine how big that boat would have to really
It's
be? in
big. It's a
real
big
life?
boat, as Carl
The
Pilkington
fucking
said.
enormous boat.
There's I saw this picture on Reddit of like
No wonder he was
Noah's
fucking
Ark.
like, oh my god, Noah.
And the Titanic.
no
He was fucked.
No, there's not Noah's Ark, and it was like all the animals getting on, and there were two lions and they both had manes on them, so they were both male lions. I was like,
Gay
I think,
lions.
I think someone needs to tell Noah what's going on.
Nice.
But I just love all that mad shit. That, you know, like these stupid Bible
It's pretty
stories. that-
mad.
yeah.
I'll read more of the Old Testament. You fucking will. You'll get some mad shit.
Mad shit.
Mad shit.
That was the original title of the Old Testament. Mad shit.
Yeah. Well, the name of this episode is. Can you ready now? It's called
Yeah.
Painting a Baby, which is what we said.
Painting a
at the start.
baby.
There you go.
I like that. I like
He's playing the
painting a baby.
saxophone to a baby.
Painting a baby.
Is there anything else to do?
No, I think it's shout out time and
that's it.
get the hell out of here time.
All right.
It's time for a shout out. Hey!
Well, I'm going to go first because
Sure.
Ricey55 on the Discord said, hey, Immortals sounds good. Duke made it sound great. I'm going to play it. And he did. And I assume it's a he. Maybe it's not. But anyway, Ricey55 loved it. And so shout out to Ricey55. I'm glad you took my recommendation and enjoyed Immortals. You might like Craftopia because there's a little bit of Immortals there. Not as much. It's not nearly as good. But it is fun. So if you like some survival crafting stuff, you might want to check out Craftopia when you're done with Immortals.
Cool.
No?
I will also shout out Amar because he sent me the worst hip hop song ever. Well, it's hard to pick the worst, but Vanilla Ice is the worst fraud in the history of hip hop. And so I hate him. And so I told Amar, don't ever send me anything from Vanilla Ice again. And he's like, I can't. He only did this one song, which is not true. He made some other songs, but they also suck. I shouldn't say that. Ice Ice Baby is not aesthetically a bad song because it's basically under pressure. But the point is that I hate Vanilla Ice because he's a fraud.
The best thing about Ice Ice Baby was he thought that because he only used, I think it was something like about 7 seconds of under pressure and just looped it or whatever.
Yes.
that it would be fine and it would be immune from the copyright issue.
And then he said, right, and then he said that he
then he had
changed
to pay
it,
all
and
the
I'm not-
royalties. You
Did I
never
tell you
got
about
any
that?
of them.
I saw an interview with him one time where they were asking him like, "You just use the same thing." He's like, "Nah, man," because like the original is dun 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 dun, and ours is dun 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 dun, and it's like we added something to it. It's like, no, dude, you kidding me? Come on.
Yeah, he didn't get away with it anyway.
Fraud.
He had to pay all
If
his
people don't know
royalties
why I say he's
away.
a fraud, he's a fraud because he grew up in suburban Texas, but his agent said, "Oh, you'll be more real hip hop if you say you're from the streets of Miami." So he pretended to be from the streets of Miami, even though he did not grow up on the streets of Miami. Liar! The number one rule in hip hop is to keep it real, and he didn't. So fuck Vanilla
Well, that
Ice.
is true. That is true, too. But have you ever heard of Milli Vanilli? Just saying.
Yeah, but they weren't rappers. So I
no,
don't
but they
really-
didn't sing a single song that they made.
they-
It was
That's
all session
true.
singers.
You're literally just talking
That's
about
true.
something else now.
Milli Vanilli.
Well,
no,
I mean,
it's still
they're
kind of
frauds. They were frauds.
They were
That's
frauds.
true.
Black Box. You remember Black Box? Ride on Time.
No.
No, well, there's a time, pop, 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 and they had this sort of skinny woman singing the song on the video.
Wasn't a
It turned out to be a soul singer called Lolita Holloway who sang it, and it was just all samples. And then the girl in the video never sang a single word of it.
Shall I name you some other Vanilla Ice songs on his first album?
No.
Go on,
I
let's
know,
hear it. I
play
didn't even
that
know he had
funky
any
music,
other
White
songs.
Boy,
Did he
which,
do
again,
other songs?
him's Not, it's not his song.
Ice Ice Baby is obviously his main one. Play That Funky Music, Hooked, Satisfaction, which features
Brilliant.
Mick Jagger and Keith Richards.
Oh my God, what were they thinking?
I Love You is another song. Dancing, Go Ill, It's a Party.
I feel
Cold,
like
Rastaman.
old songs was his shtick.
tell you
Just
what.
rapped over them.
Yeah.
Because he saw Snow getting big with his Informer. He's like, "Ooh, I'll do that."
I love
Who
that song.
knows?
Informer. I
Rasta.
love that song.
It's a fun song.
I don't know. What
Anyway, that being
you
said,
keep on
I'm going to do
going
my shout outs. I'm going to
Right.
shout out.
No, let's keep butchering the lyrics of '90s rap.
Yeah, let's keep doing that. Lewis, Dan, and Steve, who came round on a Friday night, and we played another session of Gloomhaven.
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 Yeah.
And we literally just did the scenario, so it was a very close call thing.
It's
and
the
Steve
ninth
was
highest selling multiplayer figurine-based strategy fantasy sequel game in history.
we all died apart
I
from
have so
Steve,
few
who
opportunities to play that. Sorry,
managed
guys.
to kill the last two enemies on his own. But
Yay.
since playing, we did find something out. We've been playing the game wrong for the last 18 months.
Ah.
Just
Oh
saying.
no! You missed something
because
important in the 23 pages of instructions.
because Steve insisted that the monsters moved on every turn. Turns out they only move if the card says they have to move. Other than that, they don't move.
Ah.
So
See,
how
So-
was that?
you would avoid all of this on the Harry Potter phone game because that tells
Uh,
you when to move.
So how was that
exactly.
ruin the game?
Because the monsters literally surround you almost instantly because they all move like 3 squares or whatever and they're suddenly on you, whereas they don't
So
move
you were
every
playing
go.
it too hard.
We were making it too hard for
Hard
ourselves.
mode.
So I'm surprised we
now
got
it's
through
gonna
any
be a
of these
piece of piss.
scenarios.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we got through any of the scenarios. So
Well, there you go. That
should
shows
be
how
easier
badass
next
you
time
are.
we play. Now that we know we're only
Yeah.
going to move the monsters when they're actually meant to move. Who knew?
Hmm.
Cha-ching.
Ka-ching. And that's
Profit.
it for me. Have you done yours, Chinny? Have I-
No.
have I
Ginny,
missed?
go do some shout outs.
Chinny, do them.
He's going to shout out Vanilla Ice.
Yeah,
Sure.
Ice Ice Baby.
Well, the To the Extreme album was released on my birthday in 1990, so I can't,
Really?
yeah, I can't hate it too much. I was
Dun, dun,
five,
dun, 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 dun,
five
dun.
when it came out.
5.
Fuck that guy.
No, not really. I don't have any shout outs.
Shout out the people in the chat.
Shout out to the people in the chat. I will do that. Thanks for the idea. We got Dan, Tainted Brain, Blake, Mario 64, Ian, Soul Brother, James Bevan. That's it.
Is that it?
Chat's been quiet.
Yeah. Shout out to Saint Diesel as well. We love you. The speak
Yeah,
pipes.
not
Keep 'em
Derek.
coming.
We love not Derek.
Other people send us speak pipes as
Not
well and
Derek.
emails. What's the email address?
VGPodcastUK@gmail.com.
Let us hear your voices, people.
Yeah, email the show. You big dicks.
Big
Yeah.
dickheads.
Yeah.
And play the game for Play My Game Bitch, which is FIST on the Xbox Game
Fist.
Pass. Friends of Inserting Stolen Toilets. What is it?
I don't know.
Hang on, I'll look it up. I'll tell you what it is. Because it
French-
just came out.
French.
Forged in Shadow Torch.
All right. Yeah.
So there you go. You're playing as like a rabbit or something. So
Sweet.
play it. Let us know what you think. Send us a speak pipe with your thoughts.
Great.
Yeah, is that it? Are we done?
We're done.
I think that is it. We are done.
All right, show's over. No refunds. You heard the robot. Get out.
Maybe people should think before they speak.
You are wrong.
This timeline sucks.
Brilliant.
All right, there it is, people. It happened.
It happened. Is that it? We're
Show
done?
has happened. We're done.
Are you okay, Stu?
We're done.
Yeah. And the dog is here. Can you see him?
No.
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 Oh, there he is. Now you can see him.
Aw.
Yeah, say hi, dog. He's taking it easy. He's so old. He's
he's
having
so
trouble walking.
old.
Oh yeah, I can just see him now.
I remember
Yeah,
when that
he's
dog
just-
was like absolutely mad shit crazy and look at
Oh
him.
yeah, he used to be bonkers running.
I remember.
around,
Did I
barking all
bought
the
him that? Remember I sent you that?
Yeah,
like,
the Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Yeah,
ball.
like
He
bear.
played with it for like 5 minutes, and then
And
he
he,
was like,
I remember when you showed me the video, and he's like, "Oh boy, he's gonna really like this," and he tore it apart in like 2 minutes. I was like, "Yeah, yeah." So I'm glad
he
he
doesn't really
enjoyed it.
tear anything apart these days.
Does he? Would he? Not,
Keto
what would he
blessing.
do if you gave him that now? What would he do?
He would just look at it and then be like,
Yeah, whatever.
Oh, that's so sad.
He's just very
isn't
old and
it?
very,
Yeah.
very sad.
How old is
He's
he?
just very chill.
How old is
16.
he? Wow, that is a
Oh
good
my
age for a
God.
dog.
Yes, he is. The Duchess taking very good care of him.
That's a good age. So what's that in human years? That's an old dog, isn't it?
It's an old dog. He's like 100.
Oh, I feel
At this point, the vet is like, all right, here's how we can ameliorate some of his pain. We want him to be
Yeah.
comfortable. Like treating things, diagnosing stuff.
Would
Yeah.
you have another dog where if
Oh yeah, we're totally gonna get another
Yeah.
dog. I'm like George Carlin, who's like, sometimes you get a dog you love so much, you bring him back to the shop and throw it on the counter, like that one was real good. Give me another one of them.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
I don't want another pit bull though. We're due for a dog that is a lot less stress inducing.
Yeah, you've had some stress.
Not that he hasn't been a great dog. He's a great dog, but he,
Yeah,
the
you
thumb
lost
surgery wasn't quite so
you
much
almost
fun.
lost your thumb with that dog. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe a golden retriever or something. We'll see.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that's it. We're done. Thanks everybody. I'm
Aw.
gonna stop recording now.
Bye.
I was just working out the age, but I did it in months, and it's like that dog is considered to be a
7,000 years old.
Oh, a
Yes.
puppy. Like that's a puppy.
Right.
Apparently, it's considered to be 95 years old in
Yes, there you go.
and considered to be a senior dog.
Right.
95. Your dog's 95, Duke.
He's a very old dog.
That's like fucking. That is doing well. That dog of yours.
Yes, he is doing very well.
How old was he when you got him?
2.
Wow, I remember you
14
getting him.
years.
We've been doing this show a long time.
Yeah, we have. God, you forget how long we've been doing this show.
I
We've been doing
remember
this
you
show
get-
before you. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you getting him because the math sort of works out, doesn't it? Because we've been doing this
Yeah,
15
yeah.
years.
The
so
year
you got him
after
when
we
he was 2.
started. Year after we started.
Yeah, bloody hell.
Yeah.
That's how long
Oh,
we've been
yeah.
doing this show.
And I remember
It's a
I've
long
got a
time.
very, very clear memory of ringing you, Stu, and Millie picking it up, and she was like 7 years old.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or something. Or like, she's like, "What do you want me? What do you want to speak to me, Dad, for?" And now she's like 21 or whatever. I'm like,
Yeah,
"Oh."
it's training to be
Well,
a
you wanna
manager
speak
at
to me, Dad.
Morrison's now.
She's
Yeah.
what?
Training to be a manager at Morrison's.
Oh, is she?
Yeah. Although she doesn't want to do that, but they've offered it to her, so she's like, I'll do it while I'm waiting.
Well, she doesn't want to
Looks
do it.
good on
Why
the
is she
CV.
accepting it?
Because it looks good on a CV,
It's
doesn't
interim,
it?
isn't it? It's an interim thing.
It's something to do, but because she can only start applying for postgraduate jobs in September.
Yeah, but I
And
mean, if she does that job, then maybe she'll keep taking jobs where she's in charge of like food service, and then she ends up in charge of food service. That's like some old folks' home or something. Like, what kind of life is that for her?
No, she's retail. It's not food service. It's retail.
He's
Isn't it?
I
just
know.
popular.
I'm just playing around with you.
So yeah, so
Anyway.
she's doing that, and then she's gonna. What she really wants to do is work in HR in the NHS. So that's what she really wants
Yeah.
to do.
So she can
Wants to
deny
be an
people
HR
claims.
manager.
Denied. She get that big denied stamp.
People
Oh
just-
yeah, she's.
Oh wait,
she's
no,
really-
wait. Y'all
really
have
good
an
at it.
actual functioning healthcare system.
No, I
She
wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
Not
I wouldn't say that.
really.
Compared to the
really.
United States,
It's
shit.
free.
Did you
It's
read a
free,
story
even older than
recently
that.
about someone
It's
in the
free.
UK who did not go see somebody about his goddamn stomach wound opening up and his intestines dripping out because he couldn't go to the doctor because he couldn't afford a day off of work?
Yeah.
That happened in the United States. That really happened.
I'm just saying, Stu. Oh,
What
sorry,
the
Duke.
fuck?
As somebody who has visited both a US hospital and a British hospital, there are good things and bad things from both of them.
Of course, no doubt about that. But how many times do people go bankrupt in the UK because of medical bills?
That is also true. I mean, for instance, Duke, just put it in perspective. One of the pills I'm on costs $2,500 a year.
Yeah, there you go.
So if I was in America and I didn't have health insurance, I'd have to find $2,500 a year just for one.
Or
of my
even if
pills.
you did, a lot of people who have health insurance. This guy, I just saw a post from a doctor who said he had a guy cancel his surgery because he couldn't afford the copay.
Yeah.
So even if you have insurance, nothing's guaranteed. This fucking country.
Yeah,
Don't get me started.
that pill might not be even available on the insurance.
That's
I guess.
right. We might be having a podcast with a ghost.
Yeah, you might be because I might not got all the pills I'm on. Who knows?
right.
Who knows?
Anyway,
$2,500.
all right, I'm
though,
going
it's
to take off.
ridiculous.
Thank you all so
imagine
much. Have a
Stu
good
as
week.
a ghost. Right, sorry, yeah, go.
I know, yeah. Haunting your asses.
Stop blowing the weed smoke.
That's what
at
I
me.
would. Yeah, stop fucking blowing your bloody ganja
Do some
smoke in my
sit-ups,
face.
Jamiroquai.
You can